And we're live.
Hello and welcome to Dungeons and Drama Majors, the live stream D&D show where a bunch of us drama majors all get together and play Dungeons and Dragons in a steampunk themed universe of our own creation where we have a bunch of fun and hope you guys have some fun as well. We have some slight technical difficulties tonight. My computer is not wanting to agree with the Zoom meeting, so we're doing this on my phone, so I do apologize for any weird tech issues and eye lines that come with that. But we're going to continue as planned for the night. So before we start, does anyone have any announcements before we jump in?
No.
Why do you announce this?
Yeah, what exciting things are happening in our lives right now, guys?
Yeah, I stayed at home, and then I stayed at home, and then, I did some more staying at home.
I left my apartment once this week.
Oh my god.
Made it out.
Sorry?
You what?
You know, that's like cheating though, Brayden, because you've got a balcony. So you can go outside without really going outside.
Yeah, but I actually just sit in the window. Sit on the balcony.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know why. I see on my balcony. Actually, I did go on the balcony to say hi to a friend. Anyways, back to D&D.
All right. Well, if there's nothing overly exciting happening in any of our lives, let's jump into today's session of Dungeons and Drama Majors. There it is. There's everyone jumping in. So to do a little recap of yesterday, of last week's episode.
Okay, yeah.
We began things off with the party finding themselves in the mid-district, coming out of a manhole in the Backman alleyway, where Rex made a bit of a fun acquaintance with the homeless woman in the back alley who was sort of coming on to him. From there, the party slowly made their way through the back alleys of New Eden, making their way to Rex and Ludy's home, where the party was able to relax and get their bearings, and Rex was able to start setting up some stuff to begin cooking some drugs. Isla and Abby both headed out to do some reconnaissance at the Weirwood Meadery to see about Silence and see if there's any way that they could contact him, get a message to him, and hopefully get a message back. They were able to make it to the Weirwood Meadery, had a bit of a nice conversation with Doreen, and...
There.
Oh, right, Ludi came! I thought it was just Isla and Abby. That's the second time. So the first time Ludi was with the trio. They went, had a nice conversation with Doreen. Isla was able to write a letter and send it off in Silence's direction, wherever abouts he may be. Meanwhile, Rex, back at the abode, headed out, leaving our little Jade to sit and contemplate some things. Seemed to be having a big thinking day. And Rex headed out to go meet with his drug dealer, Alan, or drug supplies dealer, Alan, to procure some supplies for the making of lax, as well as a new drug that he's been working on called Wake, and eventually a third drug that was just invented last episode called Snake. So, getting a bit of a I will pay you back later with Alan, Rex picked up enough materials to make enough lax for himself for the week, as well as a few doses of Wake. And so heading back to the abode, the party met up once again, now with liquor that they had gathered from the Weirwood Meadery, and Rex and Ludi set to work making these drugs, making, I believe, all of them successfully. There was no failures in the drug making. Some very good rolls.
You got
very
me
good rolls.
Clenching my teeth with that little mouse, knocking over my teeth.
Mouse almost messed everything up. Rex has murdered two mice with the use of Eldritch Blast over the last little bit here.
And that didn't give up.
And with that, with the drugs all made, the party settled down for a good night's sleep. Until Isla had a bit of a dream, a bit of a meeting with Saren, with the leader of Prime Tech, the company that has created Isla. And in this meeting, Saren proposed sort of a truce, in a way, giving Isla her freedom in exchange for a few little favors here and there that Saren will call in to sort of help with the experimentation of Isla, of seeing what she can do and what she does in various situations, and using this for her own means. Isla did some bargaining of her own, trying to procure herself a large quantity of cinnamon hearts, which we are still yet to see if they are delivered. And with that,
And the
party...
safety of her degenerates as well.
And with that, the party woke up and began their goings-on for the their first full day in New Eden, with Isla and Abby finding that Jade had indeed left the party to go and do a little bit of mending with his mother, with a bit of a torn relationship, and hopefully finding a way to help Isla in the process. Jade not knowing that Isla has just had this truce with her mother. Isla and Abby, with this, Isla now with Jade's +1 dagger in hand, headed out to the Weirwood Meadery to await the return letter from Silence, hoping to have a bit of a meeting with him. Meanwhile, once the house was clear of everyone but Rex and Ludi, Rex and Ludi had a bit of a conversation about the past and about some history between the two of them, where we found out that Ludi is not indeed the boy monk that he pretends to be. Ludi is indeed a girl in disguise by the name of Irene, who is actually the daughter of the spy master Edvard Vulcan, the leader of the Ravens in New Eden, who Ludi and Rex are quite worried is out looking for them. And with that, with Abby and Isla headed off to the Weirwood Meadery, and with Ludi and Rex just finishing up their conversation, that is where we're going to pick up with this episode of Dungeons and Drama Majors.
Woo! I just want to clarify. I have one quick question. I'm trying to remember what we believe the ability of the new drug that Rex created, Snake, is. What a terrible sentence. New ability, or the power of that drug is to potentially either remove a magical effect on someone, like a magical condition, or take away their magic powers altogether. That's what we currently believe it could do.
Currently believe it can mostly affect like innate magical powers. Don't know anything about like existing effects on someone, if someone has existing effects, but you do know that it supposedly would nullify any like innate magic the person has.
Okay. All right. Well, wrapping up our conversation from the last episode, I believe, Rex, you woke me up like I've only been asleep for 6 hours, so
you still have 2 hours of light activity to gain your full rest.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to bed. So love you, and good morning, and
I kind of
stroke.
not totally sure of how I feel about that conversation. I sort of just pivot, and I'm sitting at the edge of the bed, and I'm just looking down. And this is just part of class-wise flavoring. I can replace, or at least like switch out a spell of equal level for another spell on a long rest. Just to like of the spells I've learned, right?
Yes, on a long rest.
Okay, so as part of that 4 hours, I took of my lax. I sort of just close my eyes and I allow myself to just imagine in great detail. So kind of self-dream an interaction where I just see Jade, and we're enveloped in complete blackness, and it's definitely magical. And we both kind of appear and see each other at the same time through this magical darkness. And we know that there might be people who are around, but they definitely can't see us. And I just go down on one knee, getting on his eye level, and we shake hands, and a little black orb of darkness sort of hovers between the two before we actually grasp. And then I turn invisible and leave. So I'm going to pick up invisibility with Jade leaving.
Okay, awesome. Our wonderful tech, M, I have just got my laptop connected. It finally worked. Is there a way to do a flip, or should we do it at the break?
You're in here somehow?
Yes, if I don't want to, we might get some wonky sound here.
Just mute yourself on your phone.
I just won't join audio yet. But yeah, there I am. Oh my god, there's two of me.
Okay, you have to get rid of the first of you, because you're screwing with the OBS.
Get rid of
Okay, so I will be back momentarily. Thank you so much for waiting there, you guys. And leave.
There he is. Gil, we can still see you.
You don't disparage the stream while you think you are not visible.
Is it working?
Hey.
Yeah.
Yay! Oh, that is so much better. It is so much better to be able to see everyone
Ooh, can you
on a
go
bigger
turn on your
screen.
light?
Yeah, you couldn't see us all.
I couldn't see. Well, I could see you guys all, but you were very small, and I'm very blind.
And colorblind.
Good to be seen.
And colorblind. I couldn't even tell what color of shirts you guys were wearing.
Mine's pink.
Tune into Dungeons and Drama Majors every Sunday, 7:30 Mountain Standard Time, because there's always big reveals.
What?
Ludy's actually a girl. Kale's laptop works.
Kale's laptop works. There was a plant back there.
We might,
Woo!
we might start an episode before 1:45.
Hey, I started. I went back to
You did.
bed. I snored.
That's true.
There you go. That's it for the episode. Thanks you guys so much for watching. Ludy's asleep.
We'll be back with the Ludi show after the break.
Alrighty. Is everything clear on your side there, Em?
Yeah.
Okay. So, with Ludi heading back to sleep, Rex learning invisibility, is there anything else you'd like to do there, Rex, before we hop over to our friends heading to the Weirwood Meadery?
I'm just gonna get off the bed so I don't rustle it and move and sit on the couch, and that's it.
Okay.
Will you tell me when to wake up?
Yes, I will. I'll sort of keep track of the next 2 hours.
I have no intention of sleeping through the day. So.
Okay, well, good. So, Abby and Isla, you guys slowly begin making your way through the streets, back alleys.
Back alleys, I would imagine.
Yeah,
Okay. Who is leading the way to the Weirwood Meadery?
myself.
Okay. Give
Yeah.
me a perception check there, Abby.
A which, sorry?
A perception check.
Yeah, that'll be a 25.
Okay. So you guys heading to the Weirwood Meadery, Abby very deftly guiding the two of you through these back alleys. You begin to notice sort of peering out onto the main streets as you pass these intersections into alleyways. You can see the occasional overseer patrols. These patrols are not outfitted with any of the various prime tech automatons. The ones that you are seeing are just patrols of 2 or 3 overseers seeming to just be watching, keeping an eye out on the slowly waking city at this point, as it is about, at this point, it's just after 6 in the morning, so it's pretty early. And over the course of the next 15 minutes, you guys make your way to the Weirwood Meadery. Abby is able to make sure you guys don't come into any unwanted contact with the overseers during this little escapade. And you guys find yourself coming around the corner up to the front of the Weirwood Meadery with its neon sign. The Weirwood Meadery, you can see the 2 sort of hazy, almost grayed out windows on either side of you that look out into the street. And peering through, you can vaguely make out the shape of 1 or 2 patrons that have already made their way here, some very early morning patrons. What would you guys like to do?
I think we go in.
Okay. So coming into the Weirwood Meadery, you see the familiar sight of Doreen once again at the bar itself. She is currently working at sort of half setting up and keeping an eye on patrons and making sure the meadery itself is all prepped and ready for the beginning of another long day. And she notices you two come in and greets you. Well, this is rather early in the morning for you two. What's the pleasure?
Well, you just don't sleep at all, do you?
I get brief sleeps here and there. About halfway through today, I'll shift off with another one of the workers, get a bit more rest, and be back for the evening shift.
Yeah. Respectable.
Well, it comes with owning a business.
Gotta love a hard-working woman. So, Doreen, I have some questions for you. Do you
All right.
how do you operate your mail service? Should I pay you if I have a package coming here? Or a letter or something? Should I pay you just like, do I pay you in advance? And that way if someone sends me something, you just like don't throw it out?
Your correspondence with Silence, it's on the house, or Silence takes care of it.
Thank you. See, now I actually recently have thought to set up my own symbol.
Oh.
So I made up my own one. It's a sparrow, a red sparrow.
Like did you make a token, or are you?
No. It just looks like, it's just like, you know how everyone has their images? Mine's going to be a red sparrow. So if you ever see a red sparrow stamped on a package or a letter, that's for my house. Because you said that all the, like, someone was telling me that all the names, I think you said that, Abby, maybe Ludi, I don't know, someone told me all the, like, houses in New Eden had their own little birds. Mine's going to be a red sparrow. And I actually have a package coming that's going to be addressed to a red sparrow. And now, I just want you to know, I didn't want to send it through a post office because I didn't think that would be okay. But also, it's not super illegal, so you're not going to get in trouble.
Well, when can we expect this surprise package?
I am not entirely sure about that. The person that is sending it to me, they are well off. They could probably pay for express service, but I don't know how reliable they are yet. And you know what? I think they're a little bit power hungry, so they're probably going to want to, like, wait it out, like, make me sweat for it, you know?
Okay.
Should I pay you to, like, hold on to a package or a letter? How does Silence do it? Does he pay you?
Silence and I have a agreement set up, yes.
Okay, I want an agreement.
Okay. Well, and she she goes underneath the counter and pulls out this little black book that you'd seen before with all the various little slips of paper and notes and packages that have passed through her hands. You notice this little black book is quite small. You don't imagine a whole, however large bag of cinnamon hearts fitting in this little book. But she goes through it, and as she nears the back of the book itself, you can see a couple of fresh pages, and she flips to one of them and pulls out a small pen and writes quite finely, Isla, and then pauses. Is there a last name or a surname I should stick with it?
There's no sir, it's just me.
Oh, we'll just stick with Isla. And she finishes writing that, and well, how often do you expect to have packages sent here?
Oh, not very often. I don't anticipate. I mean, the thing is, life is whimsical. Sometimes it just takes you where you don't expect it to, right? So I didn't expect I'd ever have a package coming here, and then last night, what do you know, in my dreams, a bucket of cinnamon hearts is coming your way.
So, sorry, can I just,
You sound crazy.
clarify, is this a real package that's coming, or is,
Oh, no, it's a real... Sorry, I meant, like, metaphorical dreams. Like, yesterday I was telling you about how much I love cinnamon hearts, right? And, like, boom, dream come true, now they're coming.
Okay.
It wasn't a dream. It really happened. It's real.
So
A real, like, touchable, edible package of cinnamon hearts is coming.
All right.
You can have some. Not all of them, though, please.
So, I'll put you down for a package a month, package every 2 weeks.
Oh,
Different
goodness.
rates
Wow.
depending on how often I'm handling.
Okay, well, now let me ask you this. If I sign up for a package a month, and I don't get any packages for, like, 3 months, and then 1 month I get a lot of friends, and I get, like, 3 packages all in the 1 month, does that, like, even out?
Fortunately not. It's
Doreen.
actually a little bit more difficult because then in addition to the other things that pass through my hands, I then have, well, 3 unexpected packages.
Right. Can I sign up for a monthly service? Can I pay by the month? And at the beginning of each month, I'll send you a letter with money if I think I'm going to need that month.
Yes, we can, he sort of looks at the book and, like, flips through, trying to get, like, some reference from earlier entries, and not really finding anything. She flips back to your page, and, yes.
The thing is, my dear, I'm not made of money, you see. I'm good for it. But I don't think I could, like, sign up for, like, a year subscription right away, you know?
Well, for a monthly service, for right now, we'll say for 1 package a month.
Okay.
The handling fee for me is 5 gold. However, if there are additional packages that were not accounted for and that I can link to you, there is a bit of a bonus fee for sort of unsuspected handling, which is 150% of the usual rates would be 7 gold for each additional package.
Boy. Gifts are costly, I'll tell you that much. And what if I just wanted you to get 1 package?
1 package, 1 time?
Sure.
All right. It is, well, it's a bit of a different situation if we're just doing a one-time thing. It'd be 7 gold for the 1 time, and then that's it.
I will do the monthly subscription at 5 gold a month, paying by the month if I decide to, as we discussed.
Yes, but again, if beyond when you've paid, if a package should come here, well, I'll be keeping an eye out for you.
Is that a threat, Doreen? Because I'm good for it. I'll just give you money. You don't have to worry about me. I'll send money your way if a package comes. And if a package comes that I don't know is here, I'll pay for it when I get here.
Hey, I think that's what she was saying, but, like, don't worry about it.
Oh, well, I just want to get on the wrong foot.
Look at that face. Does she look threatening to you?
Well,
She's just standing there in her, like, the blue dress that she seems to wear for work. She's currently in the middle of cleaning these glasses and popping them up on a rack just above her, so they like sort of hang down over the bar.
I'm sorry, Doreen. I wasn't trying to be rude. I just didn't want you to not like me.
Well, I don't not like you.
Okay. 5 gold?
5 gold.
There you go.
Takes it and flipping to your page, sort of makes a small note on the page itself.
Sparrow? It's a red sparrow.
Red sparrow. Good choice. I oftentimes have to figure out with clients a different symbol, as what people often want is not what is currently not being used, but there's no red sparrows in my book.
Ooh. Now there is. Abby, were we here for a reason? I can't remember.
We were just trying to, we were feeling real enthusiastic this morning. We were wondering if Silence had gotten back to us somehow in this period of time.
Well, and she flips a couple more pages in the book, still sort of like occasionally giving like a glance around the bar just to make sure no one's paying too much attention. The 2 people sitting in the bar don't seem to be paying much attention. They look like they're currently picking at a little bit of very early morning breakfast. And she flips back to Silence's page, and you can see your letter has been folded and is still placed in its spot in that book. I can't say that the messenger doesn't come during the night. Sort of comes during the day, picks up the messages, and gets them to who needs getting to.
Fair enough. Do you expect that Silence's response, should it come, would come back with the same guy around the same time, maybe tomorrow?
Well, depending on the urgency expressed in the message, I can see Silence replying at a more expeditious rate if it's urgent. Otherwise, I'd say yes, this sort of similar time tomorrow should have a reply.
I think
Alright.
it was pretty urgent.
That's fantastic. Well, you may be able to see us tomorrow. That time?
Well, all right. Is there anything I can get for the two of you before you head out? Take a drink, food?
I lean in. Oh no, I just speak in Abby's head, without speaking it loud, and go, is it rude if we don't buy anything before we go? Because we bugged her at 6 a.m.
Yeah, I'd like a little breakfast, please, Doreen. Yeah, just no rush. Sorry to bother you while you're cleaning up around here.
No, I mean, the establishment's open. You are customers, at any rate.
I think we're friends by now.
So just breakfast for yourself? Anything for yourself?
Okay, a breakfast. Do you have like a to-go container? Like a bag you can throw it in or something?
We can find something that we can use to
Or if you
transport
trust me, I can just bring the plate back tomorrow when we come for our message.
might end up being something along those lines.
Okay.
All right. Wonderful. I will be back shortly. And she finishes cleaning the mug that she's working on, hangs it up, gives a quick glance around the bar. Keep an eye on things for me, will you? I'll be back in a moment. And she heads into the back.
Was she talking to us?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we're supposed to like go around the counter now? Like, did we just get hired?
Should we clean? Should we clean? Are there more glasses that she hasn't polished yet?
You know,
There looks like there's a small metallic tray of upturned mugs that she's been sort of going through and polishing that are like there on the counter.
I'll sit on the counter. Like, I'll sit up on the counter and then polish. I'll just start polishing the mugs.
Okay. Abby, is there anything you'd like to do?
I'm just gonna lean on the counter, looking at the door as though I'm waiting for something.
Okay. So you guys wait for a couple of moments. Isla, you're able to get through like 1.5 of these mugs before Doreen comes back out and sort of shocked looks at you cleaning the mugs. Well, thank you for the help.
You're welcome.
And she picks one up as well and starts polishing and gives another glance around the bar. Well, anything to drink? Would you like something warm? Something cold? Waters?
I'd like a coffee. Isla, should we sit down now? Should we get a table and
Okay.
sit down?
Yep.
There's
people do?
a spot just by the window there. People tend to enjoy that one.
Ah, by the window.
Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, I'm coming.
Yeah.
You guys head off towards the window, and Doreen turns around to prep the coffee for Abby.
Were we bugging her?
I don't know.
Okay.
I just didn't want to impose too much.
Fair.
Yeah. Good point about maybe we should order stuff though. I feel like it would have been rude if we had just been like, "Okay, tight. See you around, bud," and then left.
Learning
Yeah.
math. Okay, well, while we wait, let's play a game. Guess how many, close your eyes. Guess how many overseers I see out this window.
None. None.
Yeah.
Give me a perception check there, Isla.
I was on mute. That was smooth, Emily.
16.
16?
Yeah.
Glancing out the window's pretty old and grayed, either from smoke, like from people smoking inside, or just the age of the windows themselves. But peering through, you are able to make out the shapes of 4 overseers, 2 of which are patrolling, heading down sort of eastwards, so left from where you guys are sitting right now at this window. You see one overseer posted at a corner about 50 feet away from where you guys are, and then you see another one just passing by sort of the front of the building, headed in the westward direction.
I just speak in Abby's head now. Remind me, were you one of the ones that they saw when we, were here before?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. I see 4. So you were wrong.
Yeah, shit's bad around here, huh?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Do you think that's all our fault?
I think that's mostly.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe we're just making the streets a safer place for most people.
The overseers are literally out there because of us.
Yeah, Isla. I hadn't considered that.
I'm not there, but
I mean,
I'm sure that the citizens of New Eden can thank us for their new police state. Sure, they love it.
I'm just trying to think on the positive.
I think you are. Yeah. Sorry, was that harsh?
No, it was just honest.
Okay. Yeah. Ala.
Mhm.
Maybe we shouldn't talk about that too loudly in public.
Well, I'm just speaking in your head, so really it's kind of up to you to keep it down. Was that too harsh?
No, I suppose that was pretty honest. Wait, you got cinnamon hearts from your new little benefactor?
I think so.
That's a power move. Damn.
Thank you. Okay, so I'll tell you what I was thinking. Okay, so she was like in my head and like demanding all these things of me, and she was kind of like trying to play it like she had all the power in the situation. And I agree, she has most of the power in the situation. But in my mind, I was like, I must be pretty important to her, right? Otherwise, she'd just make another one. She doesn't need me. So if I'm this important to her, then I want to show her that I also have power in the relationship. So I asked for cinnamon hearts.
Damn,
I also asked her to keep you guys safe, but she can't. She didn't want to. Well, not that she didn't want to. She said that she cannot. She said she will not come after you, but she can't stop other people from coming after you.
Yeah, that's weird. We got this they must have this weird little power trifecta at the top, huh?
Yeah, I think normally she would be able to, but she wants to keep me a secret.
Yeah, fair enough. I feel like, some of the other people in this relationship might not be too happy with your actions. They might not love what. We need a name for this person that we can say out loud. Like Billy,
Oh.
Maybe her name is Silly.
Silly?
Somebody hears a whisper in their head that says the Cinnamon Heart Supplier.
Cinnamon Heart Supplier?
Oh, but I don't want to... I'm not sure if I like her yet. I don't want to, connect the two things,
Yeah.
Let's go with Silly for now until we come up with something better.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But the good news is, if either of you get caught, you can just... One second. I take out a piece of paper, I cover my eyes, and I try to write on the paper without looking at it. Okay.
You try to write on the paper without looking at it?
Yeah, so I'm going to cover my eyes and write on the paper. And then I'm just going to pass the paper to Abby and say, don't let me see it.
Okay, what did you try and write?
I wrote, if any of you get caught, you can just blackmail her to get free.
Okay, give me a dexterity check
Yeah.
with no proficiency.
I guess it was going to be dexterity.
18.
Okay. So the handwriting is a little bit rough there, Abby, but you can pretty well make out the message that she was writing.
No, I don't want to know what that blackmail would entail. Like, what would I say to her? Would I be like, hey, listen, I got a close relationship with your bud.
Oh.
She's my bud too. Would I
No.
just like
No.
threaten to axe you? Like, what the?
No. I mean to the other other people. Here, give me
the
the.
other people.
I
Yeah,
take
yeah.
the sheet again and I write on it, and I'm like, I try to draw a raven, and then I just write Shaw, and then I pass it back to him. Again,
Okay.
not looking at it.
So the raven is pretty rough. Wings aren't quite centered on the bird. They're like a little bit off, and the beak isn't quite attached to its face. The writing's still legible, but the drawing is a little bit harder to do.
Oh, right. I think I know what you're saying.
Okay.
Are you worried that she's looking through your eyes?
Well, it's a possibility, isn't it? Abby, I don't really know what's going on. I don't think she's looking through my eyes. But, like, that would be really creepy if she was, right?
Yeah, that would be super creepy. Man.
But I don't think that's true. It's just a possibility, and I just, better to be over careful. Don't tell anybody else that I thought that, because then they're just going to try to talk to me in different ways, and that'll be sad.
Yeah. Fair enough. Well, you know what? Glad she's on our side, I guess. For now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Sure. Sorry for dragging you into this mess.
What? Man, if I wasn't interested in keeping you guys safe, I would have just left after the gala, Like, I don't know. These things cut both ways. Maybe you're gonna have to deal with some of my terrifying shit in the future, and I'm just gonna have so many favors stacked up from all of you that you're gonna have to help me.
Yeah, maybe that bear will come to life off of the thing you stole. And maybe we'll have to fight it.
Oh shit! Yeah. Hey, when we get paid, like we gotta go to Brit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. When we get paid, like, can we stop in the low district for a second? I wanna grab that thing. It's
It's in the Low District?
yeah. It's at my house, apartment,
Oh.
room.
Can we see your house, too?
Like, I think so. I don't see why not.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we got a big day ahead of us, so like, we should probably get our food and get out.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
Almost right on cue, Doreen comes up and pops down a white plate in front of you, Abby, which looks to have a small little mound of scrambled eggs, 4 pieces of bacon, what looks to be some diced and pan-fried potatoes, and then pops down the coffee and a small little metal, almost metal teapot, the little lid on it next to the coffee. And then puts in front of Isla a bowl with a sort of dark brown, looks to be almost like a piece of burlap, just sort of draped over it. Here's you guys' meals. I apologize for the sort of
improvised manner of a to-go sort of option for you. It's the best that best I could manage.
It's perfect. How much do we owe you?
Well, whenever you guys get a chance for the 2 breakfasts and the coffee, it comes to 4 silver.
I'll just pay you now.
Yep.
That way we're done.
I guess like both of our hands reach out at the exact same time.
With the force, she sort of like looks from hand to hand about like who she should take money from.
Here, a tip.
She takes both.
What?
She takes the one from Isla and takes the one from Abby and pops them into her hand. Oh, that's very generous of you. Thank you. Well, you enjoy your breakfast, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning.
Me too.
See you then.
And she returns back to the counter.
All right, so should we? I feel kind of weird taking this out. I'm just gonna wolf it down, and then we can.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want me to
can
take
I?
the bacon back for Rex?
Yeah. Can you? Yeah. Put that in the bowl.
And just okay. And you give me a Constitution check.
Okay. 17.
Okay, so this is the the competitive eating check. With 17, Abby is able to down this plate of now it's the eggs and the fried potatoes. Abby's able to down it in like under a minute, easy. Probably like closer to half a minute. Abby just like shovels this stuff into his mouth. Not a whole lot of breaths in between, and suddenly there's a clean plate in front of Abby.
All right, man.
You okay?
Yeah, I don't know if that's that right. Oh well.
Maybe it might have something to do with the rate of consumption.
You know, probably. I'd make a bet on that. Should we go?
Yes.
Yeah.
Bye, Doreen.
Okay. Doreen gives you a wave as you head out.
Oh shit! Wait, before we head out,
Yeah, what?
do you want to see if there's like a back? If we can like go up the back.
I feel like that looks more sketch, to be honest.
Alright. Then we're just gonna have to act natural on the walk.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
We got this.
As soon as we exit, I go, breakfast. Good breakfast.
That. Okay, never mind.
Give me
You're doing great.
Give me a persuasion check there, Isla.
Persuasion?
Mm-hmm.
Ha. 26.
So Isla walking out in front, going, breakfast, breakfast. You see there is a couple that is walking up the sidewalk towards where you guys are, towards the Weirwood Meadery from the eastern direction, and they sort of pause as you guys come out of the building and share a couple quiet words. And as you guys begin to head away from the Weirwood Meadery and dip into the alleys, as you dip into the alley, you notice the two of them go into the Weirwood Meadery.
Yay.
Wow. Good Yelp review from Isla.
Breakfast. All right, and is there anywhere else you guys would like to go? Just head back to Rex and Ludi's?
Let's head back.
Okay. Give me another perception check, whoever is leading.
23.
Okay. So, once again, able to quite deftly lead the two of you through these back alleys, a route that you guys have now taken a number of times to and fro the Weirwood Meadery. You notice as you're making your way through the alleys that the streets are now becoming less and less populated with overseers and more the start of the morning bustle of New Eden as people are all coming out of their houses and the city itself is slowly but surely beginning to wake up. And without much trouble, 10 minutes later, you guys arrive at the sort of side door into Rex and Ludi's abode. At this point, coming inside, this whole escapade has taken the better part of about like an hour and a half. Ludi is just starting to stir from the end of his rest. Rex, you've had about an hour and a half of contemplative time downstairs, time to think about the plan for the day, think about your good friend Labelli, and contemplate whatever Jade is up to at this moment.
I wait until I hear, either Ludi fully get out of bed or the door. So whichever comes first.
Door comes first.
I dismiss what is only visible to me, an exact illusion of Jade, who's sitting next to me on the couch, and I turn towards the door and say, "Hello, I'm back."
Oh yeah, we got you breakfast.
Oh,
You and Ludi.
sure.
Feel like there's extra bacon for whoever wants it.
Ludi loves bacon. Yeah. Ludi, wake up, darling, breakfast. You know what that is? You smell it. I can see you.
I take the lid off so he can smell it.
Okay, you can smell the waft of the greasy bacon, and these like fried potatoes begin to slowly make its way through the large like one room of this building.
Is bacon made from pigs in this world, or is it made from some other funky animal creation?
It's made from pigs. There's pig farms and other farms scattered throughout the wastes.
Is that bacon?
Uh-huh. Nothing like a pub at 6 in the morning.
A pub that serves bacon? Oh yes, you guys were at the... I'll be out. Just give me a minute.
I put the lid back on to keep it warm, and then I'll stand up and kind of like with my hands on my hips, show off that I'm wearing the brown leather jacket, and I've popped a few buttons on the white shirt, so I look a little less like hardcore than I have been, and you can see my scale necklace dangling to it. I say, "So who's ready to make some money from Brit? All I've got to do is hand her this thing," and I pull out the bead from the med kit which stored the memory that Ezen liked us, and we're going to get a lot of gold.
You look spiffy.
Oh, don't stop it! You're going to make me blush. Just kidding, it is genetically impossible for Dragonborn to. But thank you.
There are many overseers out there.
Oh dear. Okay. Do you
Yeah.
have that, Ludi?
Yeah, as I hear Rex's voice, I've just sort of made my way over to the mirror. I'm just taking a look at my face. And then I come downstairs. There was a lot of overseers out this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Rex mentioned that you went to the... He told me everything. I know about the vision or the dream, and I know that you were at the meadery hoping to hear from Silence, but I take it he didn't reply yet, or...
No.
Well, I'm sure he will by tonight or tomorrow, so...
Yeah, we're going. Not Brit. Doreen told us to go back early tomorrow, so make sure we're around. Yeah.
Okay. I feel like he'd probably respond by tonight, maybe, but yeah.
It's just a matter of the messenger getting back, I think, is the thing.
I also told.
We pay for express delivery. And what was that, Rex?
I also told. I heard what you were talking about with Jade. He's gone.
Oh. Yes.
I'm just wondering why he would. But he said that we were close to him. But
Well,
people got to do what they've got to do. But
he said he'd come back.
Wait. Sorry, I can't remember. Rex, did you tell me about that in the last session when we were talking?
I just said that I heard that Jade is gone.
Did you guys see him before he left? Isla, were you awake? Or,
No.
did you...
He was gone when we got up, but he left a letter. Here, I'll give him the letter. Basically, he just said he's got to go talk to his mom, and that he'll come back when he can, but he has stuff to figure out. And he also said if we're in Fontaine's, he might be there.
Oh.
Hmm.
Oh, okay.
or something like that.
Do you think the last time we were at Fontaine's with Jade, he was invisible the whole time.
Yeah, I think he didn't want to be seen there because he would actually be known there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You mind if I hold on to this, Isla?
The letter? Of course.
What did he give you, Isla?
Oh, look!
Ah! Oh!
She pulls out the serrated knife that almost like a serrated Bowie knife that she got off of one of the patchwork flesh shapers.
Is it pretty?
It's pretty rugged. It's not a very gorgeous looking knife, but it's scary looking.
It's so rustic and threatening.
Yeah,
I love it.
I do too.
Wow.
Looks mean, huh?
Yeah, actually this has me thinking, ever since Rex, found that really cute and cool little gun, the other day, and, with this knife, other than my, Derringer, which I, hardly ever use, and I have my knives, but I never use them, I don't really use a weapon all that often, and I don't really know. I mean, I was trained primarily just with my to use my fists and my gravity and my opponent's body weight against them and that sort of thing, and I'm comfortable with that. But I wonder if I could maybe find something that wouldn't make me more threatening or more not threatening in a an emotional sense, but if I could, if I should maybe try learning a new weapon.
Well,
That was such a roundabout sentence.
you're in luck, because today we're going to the... Yeah!
But I don't even know what I'd be looking for. That's the thing, is I'm not familiar with weapons, and I don't even know what I could use or pick up.
I bet you when you saw it, it would speak to you.
Like how you speak to me in my...
Oh, God, no. Just like you'd see it and it would be like, wow. You'd look at it and you go, that's the one. You just know.
Oh, like an intuition.
Like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I know what you mean. I just squeeze Rex's shoulder and... Yeah, Abby?
Maybe you just need some brass knuckles or something to let people know that you're a bad motherfucker and your fists are made of steel
Okay, so...
and hurt real bad when you get hit with them.
Yes, I love that, but, fists made of steel, brass knuckles, sort of two different things. Also, brass just isn't really my thing. I prefer, maybe a, more silvery color or something.
Copper?
Uh-huh.
You said silver. I thought maybe copper.
No, because copper and brass are, a very similar hue.
Yeah.
So, but, gold or silver or, something black. Even.
Oh!
Or maybe a dark forest green, or even a light lilac color if I could find something, just something that's kind of pretty.
What if we spray painted brass knuckles?
That would do it. That would do it. But we'd have to get some extra because it'd probably wear off fast, given our history.
Yeah.
Well, I would recommend that Isla, you probably should stay away from those it was half orcs, right? At that weapon shop?
Mm-hmm.
It was two half orcs.
I can just change my face before we go down there. They won't ever know it's me.
Oh! Perfect.
And I can speak in a very different voice like this.
Oh, yes, because voices are a very, very easy thing to remember if you have the mind for it.
Mm-hmm. Like you.
me today. Enough flattering. Let's get down to business.
I haven't had breakfast yet. Can we just hold the business, or can I just grab that bacon?
No, Ludi, we must begin now. You had your chance. Of course, Ludi. You eat, I will talk. I am thinking that we should go to Black Emporium as soon as we can. Nighttime, we could wait for if we want the cover of darkness, but if we can get these things done and get the money, then we can begin our day. So
Yeah, but what time is it? Like 8 a.m.? What time is it?
At this point, it's just cusping on 8 a.m.
Isn't the Black Emporium more of like a afternoon, into the evening place?
I don't actually remember if that's a thing, so I'm going to make a check or just ask you, Kale.
I'd say you'd know offhandedly the sort of hours of the Black Emporium. You know that some places, like for instance, Brit always has someone there at the Black Emporium, whether it's her or not, or if it's one of her various cousins and nieces and nephews that she has working for her. Some places remain open, others don't. So there's some services will be open, others will be closed.
Well, it's true, yeah. Well, there are some that like to operate after dark, and that's natural. They have their day to take care of before they commit crime at night. But I'm thinking that Brit or at least some associate will be there, so that we can get the job done. I'm just looking to make a little bit of this.
Woo!
Yes, no, definitely. And not to like preempt a bunch of road bumps, but the other thing I am sort of wondering about is, do you think that it's possible that the overseers have maybe cracked down on the Black Emporium since we've been out of the city with the increased security? I wonder if there may be like, I doubt it's been shut down altogether. I mean, God knows how that place is kept running through everything. But, they might be watching the entrance or something. I wonder if it might be smarter to, scout it out. It's like scout out the what's the inn called, Kale, that is like a cover for the entrance to the Black Emporium?
The club that you guys go through is the Rail.
The Rail?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, I just wonder, like, maybe we should scout out the Rail first and just see if there's any overseers around, and if there is, we could always go in through the sewers.
Okay, I have an idea. I will turn invisible. I know what you was thinking there, Abby. Yeah, that's right.
You
You can do that?
Wow.
Well,
Sorry, say again?
you make us all invisible.
No, not all of us. One of us could go. I could turn myself invisible, or one of you. Scout it out.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Awesome.
like, let's get, like, close to, and then you can zone in for the, like, reconnaissance kill.
Well, we do need to have. You need to be visible so that you can show them or at least pay them, or show them maybe potentially.
I mean, just to scout out the rail and, like, sort of the block or two around it in case the overseers are watching outside to see who's going in and out of the Black Emporium.
Well, I may save my energy for different efforts because we could probably do that in disguise, opposed to complete invisibility.
Yeah.
I mean, if you guys want, I can just go outside and see if I can ask a little friend to help us out a little, right?
You mean Yade?
Yeah, Jade's gone, Abby.
Smaller.
Alan?
Smaller,
Like, stinkier? Alan? The funny eye?
No, like the birds. I could just go hang out with a bird for 10 minutes and then be like, hey, could you help a guy out? You can go look over there, see what you see, and then come back to me.
Yes, you do that, and I'm going to finish this. It's incredible.
Good idea. Okay, well, have fun with the birds.
Great. Thanks, y'all. I'll be back in a bit.
While he's gone, I try to find the mice in the house.
And while she hunts for mice, I'm going to go to the bathroom in my house, but I'm still here.
Okay.
When Rex goes to the washroom, I just want to walk up behind Isla. Isla?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry to interrupt the mouse. Thank you, by the way.
What?
Are you? You were. It looked like you were hunting mice.
I am. If Abby's gonna ask the birds, I figured I'd ask the mice.
Yeah, yeah, totally. They roam a lot. How are you? How are you doing?
What do you mean?
I just thought maybe the vision or the dream or whatever would maybe be weighing on you. But if it's not, that's okay. I just wanted to check in and see how you're doing.
I'm great, lady. I'm always great.
Okay. All right. Well, it seems like it's a good thing for now, at least. I don't have to worry about the sorting out the tracker stuff. But do you want to be, like, free of her?
She's, giving me freedom.
Yeah, more freedom, maybe. But, like, ultimate freedom, or, like, complete autonomy.
I have an off switch, so that's not possible.
An off switch? Rex didn't say anything about that. What's the off switch?
I don't know. I don't know how I work. I just know that she told me she could turn me off at any time if I do anything wrong.
Is she walk? Can she? Okay. Well, maybe we can, find a way to reconfigure the off switch sometime. Maybe one of Jade's mother's friends or something.
I don't think I'm supposed to tamper with my hardware.
Okay. Okay. Cool. I go back to eating my breakfast and I walk away.
Okay. And Abby, you're heading outside to look for some boards?
Yeah, I'd like to go look for some boards.
Okay, give me a perception check to look for boards.
Thank you, sir. 19.
Okay.
Perfect for sparrows.
So, sparrows. Looking around in this alley, glancing about sort of ground level, you don't see any birds ground level. You do see a decent amount of like refuse and bits of discarded things. You are able to make out the shape of a rat, sort of like slowly making its way up the alley towards you. Seems to be investigating some of these small piles of trash. You do see on the sort of eaves troughs about 20-25 feet above you, you can see the shapes of 4 pigeons just sitting there, seeming to be sort of glancing about the city, huddled together a little bit for warmth. Unfortunately, you're unable to make out any sparrows.
Okay. I'd like to just quietly to speak with animals.
Okay.
And then try to convince a pigeon to let me see through its eyes while it goes and flies to a preset location.
Okay, let me just double check something here.
Because it's 2 rituals in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's non-concentration. So give me a... So, over the next 10 minutes, you begin to... Okay. Over the next 10 minutes, you begin to ritually cast Speak with Animals, sort of keeping an eye on these pigeons. As you're watching this group of 4, 2 of them fly off. There's still 2 of them there. And sort of glancing around, you now notice this rat has moved further down one of the other branches of this alleyway and is no longer in sight. However, you finish casting the spell, and you begin to, slowly begin to understand little bits of cooing and chirping from these 2 pigeons as they're sitting above you, and you pretty well all you hear is whoop, 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 beep, whoop. Better stay away. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Where'd you go?
Hey, guys. Hey, over here.
You sort of see them begin to move their heads around a bit, sort of looking, trying to figure out.
Down.
They both look down off the eaves trough down at you. Food.
Hey, I will give you food
Food.
if you do a favor for me.
Kale. Food.
Okay, hold on 1 second, and I go back in and search for some bread.
Okay, give me an investigation check.
Hey, do we have bread in here?
That is a 8.
Okay. Looking through the house, trying to find some amount of bread. You don't find bread. You do find some of the remnants of the meal that was prepared here a while ago in the fridge. But you are unable to find any bread.
Ludi and I like having cocktails, so there's like a quarter jar of olives.
Hey, you guys mind if I take these and I pull out the olives?
Go ahead.
Going to a worthy cause, I swear.
Absolutely. Just make sure. Oh, never mind. They are de-pitted already.
Impressive. You do that yourself, or?
No, we buy them that way. But is it de-pitted or is it pitted? They've been pitted. Yes, they've been pitted.
Okay, so you have your pitted olives and head back outside.
Yeah, I head back outside and I'm like, okay, this food.
You see
But
the
you gotta
pigeons
do something for me.
look back at each other. Ooh, man, wait, food.
Yeah. But you gotta do something for me.
It's like Shelter Point.
Food.
No free lunch. All right, come here. One of you come here. Both of you come here.
Give me a persuasion check.
Oh no! 18.
How hard is it to persuade an animal with food?
It's not hard. The DC was pretty low. So you're able to convince. You sort of see these 2 pigeons look at each other, and they glance down at you, glance over at each other, and both of these pigeons fly down, sort of in this sort of mirroring U pattern, and one lands on each of your shoulders, sort of looking over your shoulders at the small jar of olives.
All right, fellas. One for you.
And one
For you.
takes it and begins eating it on your shoulder. The other one sort of presses the olive against your neck, and you can sort of feel like it's wet and it's cold and it's like full of brine, and it's just sort of like eating this thing pressed against your neck.
You know, weird custom. Okay. I'm just gonna. I need you guys to fly somewhere for me. Could you do that?
Sort of glance at each other and where Flap?
And then I sort of start describing the location of the rail.
Okay.
Sort of in, I guess, like polar coordinates from here. Maybe they're like these.
Okay, so the 2 pigeons, as you're speaking, one of them seems rather intently listening to you. The other one sort of gets distracted and flies off. But the other one, while you've been explaining these directions, seems to be intently listening and seems to be understanding.
All right. So if you do this for me, there's olives in it for you. So
Great Sal.
thanks for waiting. Now, just wait here a little bit. You can have some more olives while you wait. And then when I give you the go word, you go to where I fly. You fly to where I go. To where I described.
Food.
To where I said food. Food for fly.
Fly.
Fly. Not now. Not now. No. Wait.
Takes off about 3 centimeters and comes back down to your shoulder.
Okay. Just in a few minutes. Have some olives while you wait. I'll tell you when to go. Okay.
Okay.
And I'm gonna cast Beast Sense on the pigeon.
On the pigeon. So over the next 10 minutes, sort of leaned up against the wall in this alley, you have a pigeon on your shoulder, slowly eating the olives out of this container. 10 minutes pass, and the pigeon sort of shakes and ruffles its feathers on your shoulder, as you can now sense through the pigeon's eyes.
I pick another olive out. I give it to it, and I say, "No go."
Okay. So you see, as you give this olive to the pigeon, there's this weird, almost double vision that you're getting, where it's your vision superimposed on the pigeon's vision. And so you can see this small olive you're giving to the pigeon, and you can see how huge it is to the pigeon's point of view. You see the pigeon take it. You see one of the things you don't often see is through someone's eyes, something looking at yourself. So you see how the pigeon perceives you. You can see you in all of your glory, and it's a little bit different than how you've ever looked in a mirror. There's a little bit of a change and difference, and just sort of how the face is shaped, and how the little bit of beard stubble that's growing back. You can see just the small tinge of blue that has sort of come out now from the roots that were dyed. You see yourself as the pigeon takes off and begins to fly in the direction that you had told it to fly. It flaps its way down the gray walk. You see it sort of looking down at the mid-district, beginning to slowly sprawl its way out in front of you. You can see the buildings, most of them relatively the same height at about 2.5 stories. The few that stick up at about 3 or 5, between 3 and 5 stories, are these sort of spires every so often of these larger buildings. As the pigeon makes its way, gets distracted momentarily by a little bit of leftover food that has been dropped in the middle of the gray walk, and sort of stops there for a moment, and then seems to remember that there is more food in it if it does this deed, and flies off in the direction of the rail that you had described. And the pigeon comes in. You can see the unmarked iron door of the rail as it flies and lands on a small little lamppost about 20 feet away from this entrance, and sort of glances around. And looking here, you can see small foot traffic beginning to slowly start to pick up in this area. There's the better part of within the pigeon's vision, probably about 15 to 20 people sort of mulling about and going about their business, entering shops, beginning to start their day, opening various stores. The pigeon sort of looks down eastward, sort of shifts itself to look across the street, and across the street you see a couple people sort of leaned up against one of the walls, having a bit of a conversation. Seems to just be a couple of townsfolk catching up early in the morning. And then the pigeon once again shifts to look westward down the gray walk. You see the sort of dim light that is being spread by these early morning lampposts that are dimly lighting the gray walk that is mostly shadowed by these quite tall buildings. And you see a few more people mulling their way, most of them heading towards Market Row, further down this portion of the gray walk. From what you can see, there's maybe about, in the pigeon's vision, 3 different patrols of overseers, each of 2 different overseers. Don't see any automatons with them, just the overseers themselves. Making their way up and down, seem to be quite lazily watching people, don't seem to aggravated, don't look like they're really searching as hard as they could, going up and down the streets here. And a few moments pass with the pigeon looking down the westward way, and then it begins to fly off back in your direction. And
You see it fly. You see it pass the alley that you are in. It perches itself on a roof and looks down into the alley on the opposite side of Rex and Ludi's home, and sort of glances down into the alley. You don't see yourself. There's a moment where the pigeon sort of looks up and looks out over the sprawling mid-district and the walls of New Eden sort of rising up. You can see in the far distance the citadel and at the farthest southern reaches of New Eden itself. The pigeon then begins to waddle its way across the roof of Ludi and Rex's abode, making its way to the opposite alleyway where it looks down, sees you sitting there sort of leaned up against the wall, and it flaps its way down, pops itself on your shoulder, and then sort of pecks lightly at your neck.
Yeah, you earned these.
And it fits as many olives as it can in its mouth. It takes about 2, tries to get a third, has a third for a moment, and begins flying off. The third drops to the ground midway through flight as it disappears over the rooftops.
Maybe the rat will get it later. So, it was, normal amount of presence, no one standing outside the rail.
Doesn't appear to be anyone. Doesn't look like anyone's, staking out the place. It looks like just normal townsfolk. There is overseer presence, but not...
as much as there is everywhere
Not
else.
as much as there is everywhere else, and it seems like it's a time of day where it's not super intense. They don't have any of the hunters. They don't have any large groups of overseers. It's a pretty easeful portion of the day.
All right. Go back. I open the door.
Okay. Meanwhile, inside, Isla, give me an investigation check.
15. There was a 17 on the die.
Okay.
15
So
total.
searching through Rex and Ludi's home, you have found one of the many holes that the mice use to sort of get around inside the house. Over the last 20 minutes that Abby has been outside doing these 2 ritual spells, watching through this pigeon's vision, you have sat yourself in front of this hole, waiting for something to come out.
I make
20
sure
minutes
Rex. I make sure Rex and Ludi don't see me.
I'm in the living room.
I'm trying to be super casual about it. And at one point, I even get up and I go over and I grab some of the crumbs out of the breakfast thing, and then I go back over and casually sit down, switch hands, and then just put it in the front of the hole.
Okay. So Isla's attempting to nonchalantly watch this hole, trying to entice the mice to come out. However, over this 20 minutes, no mice appear out of this hole as Abby walks back in the door.
I get a pillow. Is there a pillow on the couch?
Yes, there is.
Then I grab a pillow off the couch and I just put it in front of the hole. Not so much that a mouse couldn't get under it or past it, but just so that the hole is covered.
Okay. So you guys watch Isla go to the couch, pick up one of these pillows. You've seen her she hasn't been doing anything too weird. She's mostly been leaning up against this wall on the far side of the house and just sort of glancing about, doing nothing in particular. But she takes one of the cushions, brings it sort of over near where she was standing, and just puts it on the floor.
What's she doing with that, Isla?
I just think it looks nice over here. It balances out the room, wouldn't you say?
I would say that there's not much to balance. I would say.
Well, I like it. We can keep it there for now. If you don't like it, in a couple days, maybe put it back to normal. But
Wouldn't have anything to do with mice, would it?
The pillow? I don't think mice use a pillow.
No, I don't think they do either.
Oh, Abby!
Rex, okay in the bathroom there? You've been in there for 20 minutes.
In the bathroom. I have turned the shower on, and whether some orange rust-colored water comes out because it hasn't been used in a long time,
Mm-hmm.
I still run it, and I just let it run. Then I move my way over. There's really just a shower, a sink, and a toilet in this room. And I kind of take the sleeve of my white shirt and I pull it out from underneath my jacket, and I wipe away the grime on the mirror, and I look at myself in the mirror, kind of reflecting the image we saw of Ludi looking at himself in the mirror. And I just take my claws and I scrape at my scales a little bit, and they stay on. But then I take out the pistol that Ludi was referring to, and I put it in the sink. And I don't run the water in the sink, but I put my hands on the sink, and I open my maw and close my eyes. And I want to try to consume this for Belial.
Okay. Give me a flat charisma check.
Okay. It's a 10.
Okay. So as you focus on this item and try and will it into Belial's possession so that you may later on call this weapon to you, you focus all that you can on this weapon. You feel the presence of this patron come to you. You can feel sort of the shadowy tendrils begin to reach out from your body towards it, begin to snake around the weapon, and they slowly retreat back into your body, and the weapon remains. It seems that this attempt was unsuccessful.
What I would like to do, I'm going to cast darkness in the room.
Okay.
And I'm not going to stop concentrating. And I'm going to stay in the room as long as I need to. And I take about 15 seconds just thinking, and then I cast darkness. And then I'm just going to stay in the room and not try too hard. I'm just going to keep my hands there, keep my mouth open, and breathe silently.
Okay. So as the darkness envelops the room, for you can still see, because I believe you have see-through magical darkness. You have the Eldritch Vision. You can still sort of see generally in the room, sort of as if it was in dim light, as this darkness spreads around. As you continue to focus on this weapon, you see once again these tendrils begin to sort of lick out of your body and move their way around this weapon, almost inspecting it. See other tendrils make their way up to the mirror, and from what you can see on your side of the mirror, looking into this other mirror, there's this weird effect of, in pure darkness, there's no light to really make a reflection, but you swear you can see something looking at you from beyond the mirror.
Cool.
And sitting there, focusing on this weapon, a few more moments pass. You can see these tendrils begin licking their way across the weapon, and they pull back into your body. The darkness fades, and you can see for a moment, just as the darkness is about to fade from the room and light begins to hit the mirror, you see almost what looks to be a draconic face, created solely from shadow, these small 2 pockets of white light as eyes, what looks to be almost shadow dripping as if it was saliva out of this creature's mouth. It sort of watches you from beyond the mirror and dissipates. You're unsure if Belial has accepted this weapon, but you do know you have had some amount of a communion with your patron during this time in the bathroom.
Seance in the bathroom.
I'm sure that at the moment Ludi asked if I was okay, you can see some of the darkness kind of just melting out, and that's the last bits of it fading away, underneath the door.
Okay.
X.
I'm gonna run to the shower, turn it off, open the door, and kind of do this in the air a little bit, and open it and just go, "Hey, what's up?"
You just seem to be taking a while. You okay?
Yeah, just
Would you- the thing again. bowel problems?
Yeah, it's the stinky. It was just the stinky shit.
Oh.
What?
Well, just so everyone knows, Abby, Isla, I'd avoid the bathroom for, ideally the rest of the day. But
Week, maybe.
I don't use
well,
it.
you're
So.
used to it, so.
It's just whenever I drink vodka, it kind of flushes me out.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So how'd it go, Abby?
Clearly better than Rex's morning. Sorry to hear that. Hope you feel better now.
We're used to it. It's fine.
Okay.
Lots of lots of vodka.
Yeah, so I don't know like if you want like a salty snack to like get some electrolytes back, but the pigeons ate like a lot of olives.
Aww.
Greedy motherfuckers.
I think they were probably going bad. I mean, we bought those like 4 months ago.
I'll just have one for breakfast.
Okay, taking a bite of these olives, they are very soft. They've been in this brine for a bit too long, and so they've begun to like really soften and really get the like acidic punch of the vinegar that they're in. It's not necessarily revolting, but it's not pleasant. It's not a pleasant olive.
Coming from someone who breathes acid, I think I'll be okay. I just nod and then put the rest of the shitty olives away.
So, Abby.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, I got one to do what I wanted, and things seem okay over at the rail. Like they're patrolling even less intensely over there than they are here. So, I mean, I couldn't go inside. Like, I feel like a pigeon wouldn't get past the bouncer, doesn't have his ID on him. But, yeah, like from the outside, everything's all clear. And I feel like if there was something going on inside, things would be more intense outside. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, if you didn't see, like, I was imagining maybe overseers standing guard, or, kind of more of an increased presence there. So it sounds like it'd be safe to go.
Yeah. And to be honest, like, it looks like the people that they had out there didn't really care. They were like, what's going to happen over here?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, shall we head out? I finished breakfast, so.
So did I. I'm not sure if any of you are feeling particularly paranoid to move through the streets as yourselves. I know, Isla, you do have the ability to disguise, but for those of us who aren't so lucky, I thought maybe I could make one person invisible, but I might be able to do more than one.
I mean, I think Ludi and I are good, right? Like, they don't have us, right? I thought.
Well, there were those wanted posters.
Can you remind me who they saw on the wanted posters? It was
And-
you
And Jade,
and
I
Jade
believe.
and Abby.
It was me.
It was you.
It was me, Ludi, and
Jade.
you.
Kale, can you?
I'm currently going back to try and double check because
It was a black silhouette of Abby and Jade. And then
yes,
it's me, Isla, and Ludi.
yeah, here. Yeah, it's a general silhouette of I'll get back now. It's a general silhouette of Abby, general silhouette of Jade, and then Rex and Ludi are the two that they saw.
Oh, but no Isla.
No Isla.
Okay.
I mean, I live in a constant state of paranoia, so I'm used to it. And I feel like with the haircut and, the new look, it's fine.
Yeah, and I mean, I shaved, like, I'm sure that silhouette was just a lot of beard. Maybe I'll change my clothes, right?
That's true. I did change as well, so I'm looking kind of dapper. Hopefully they don't take me for the drug dealing, throat slitting, hierarchy falling type, let's go. I go to the door and my smile. I totally just serious over as I just want to disguise myself to look like the most don't fuck with me high elf you've ever seen.
Okay. So Rex casts Disguise Self. You see the rather pointed and sharp features of a High District High Elf begin to take form across his face. You see very regal, quite fancy clothes appear across his body. Looks like a total prick, just a rich prick.
I take a long striding step out with my cane and say, well, hurry along.
Oh, crap, I never think this through. Shit. I just look at Abby and I go, sorry. And then you're here.
You know what? It's fine. I'm getting used to it.
All right, so you adopt the features of Abby's persona. Do you have them written there? Do you need them again?
I have them written somewhere. Sorry.
I turn to Abby and say, is that Captain Amara?
No, that's just one of my buddies. Yeah.
Milder Elvis features straight, short, red hair, freckles? Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Believe so.
That's what I got.
Yeah, her name, that one's Elaine. Not Amara, yeah. Not nearly as high ranking, and probably about as mean.
Oh.
But she's got a good heart on the inside, right? Like, always looking out to help people. Right?
If she's a friend of yours, I'm sure she does.
I
turn and go like this.
I sort of turn around to Isla and I'm like, don't assume that about my friends normally. And I head out.
Okay.
I slip my hand into Rex's, and with my other hand on his arm. I never really thought about the role play possibilities that your powers would maybe allow for.
Well,
A thought for another time.
darling, it's but an illusion. Seeing is different than feeling. And I say that, and my mouth just goes like that as a human, but my dragonborn tongue is going to lick from his chin up to his ear and then around it.
So there is a moment where the tongue passes beyond the illusion, and it looks like this draconic tongue just appears into the ether about 4 inches beyond his mouth.
Yeah.
Just suddenly appears.
And then I look ahead, smirking.
Okay. You guys make your way towards the rail, or...
I'll exit last, and then I close the door, and then I turn around, and then I turn around, and I go, oh shit, should I lock it? And then I just leave it and go after them.
You just can't run back and lock that.
Yeah.
Okay. So locking the door, making sure everything's nice and locked up tight, you guys begin to make your way towards the rail. Who is leading? Rex?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
Oh, right. For overbeers, that's a 13.
Okay. So making your way through the back alley, you notice it's now the city is slowly but surely beginning to awaken. It's now closer to about 9 o'clock here. More people are out. More stores are open. People are mulling about, beginning to go about their daily lives in New Eden. You notice every so often the occasional overseer patrol or overseer stationed in a corner just to keep an eye on the populace, but you don't notice too many out, not enough to really worry your movement through the city. And after about 20 minutes of making your way through these back alleys, you guys arrive at the unmarked iron door that you know leads down towards the rail.
Okay. Yeah, I suppose there's not really anybody out. There's no reason to get so suspicious. I'll just approach the door. I know it's marked, and I know that we either pay or show a token when we get a little further in.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'll just go straight up to the door, stride confidently, open it with gusto, and then point with my cane for everybody to go in.
Okay. Everyone files in.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll take just one last look out the door to see if anybody's currently looking at me, or at us as we all enter.
Okay. As you take this last glance, you notice a trio of people walking down westward on the opposite side of the street. Sort of glance at you guys as you pull open this nondescript door and start disappearing into it. Sort of give a bit of a glance over and then shake their heads and continue on their way.
I better kill them. I'll attack all of them. Boom, 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 boom. Just kidding. Yeah, just close the door and I'll regard that.
Okay. So you all find yourself entering the very starkly lit stairway that leads down about a flight and a half down below to, once again, another one of these unmarked doors with a small little crossed railroads symbol that, as you guys have been here before, know that by pressing the center of the symbol is how you make your way in. So laying the finger on the button, you feel the center portion of these railway tracks sort of press in under your finger. Hear a little bit of movement from behind the door, and the door swings in, revealing the Goliath you've met before, Goroth Black Skull, in all of his greatness, all of his shaved head, covered in tattoos, greatness. He is a huge, huge man, and sort of glancing to each of you, doesn't recognize the high elf that has joined the party, and well, tokens, everyone have tokens. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. Well, enjoy your time in the rail. And takes a step aside into a small little alcove in this hallway and sort of waves his arm down to the opposite side where you see yet again one of these unmarked iron doors.
I'll go.
Okay.
There we go in.
Making your way down the hallway, getting a slight press on this door. This one swings open quite easily, and you find yourselves in the rail, in the sort of two-tiered nightclub that you have been to before. At this point, at 9 in the morning, there is no act currently going on. The place is not necessarily quiet, but there's softer music playing. You see the AI Solace standing on the stage, sort of at their makeshift and completely haphazard sort of disc board, where they seem to be sort of moving various components around to sort of set up the next sort of series of songs throughout the morning.
I go over to her really quick.
Okay. You do see in this area there are a few people mulling about, some people sitting having very early morning drinks, other people having hushed conversation. You notice immediately coming in this almost lounge area in front of you that you've seen before. You recognize some familiar faces of people who have been sitting there before, and one in particular being the goblin who owns the rail, an individual known as, where did I put his name? An individual known as Crimp Vegelback, who seems to notice you guys as you come in and gives you a slight nod and goes back to a conversation with a series of individuals in front of him. Isla, you run down to meet Solace?
Yeah, I just walk up to, like, wherever she is on the stage, I'll just stand right in front of the stage and look up at her, and then I'm just going to speak in her head.
Okay, so you see Isla head down the flight of wooden stairs down to the sort of ground floor, this like cement floor of the rail itself. This once what was supposed to be the beginnings of a subway through New Eden that was abandoned by one of the one of the dukes or duchesses of the past, who decided that the city didn't need this, that they had other means. They had the tram stations. They didn't really need much of a subway, but it has been repurposed to be this nightclub. And coming up to the bottom of the stage, and what do you say to Solace?
Hey, Solace. I just speak in her head. Yeah.
Working at the various instruments in front of her, so looks up and doesn't recognize you, as you're not in the face that you talked to her before. She speaks in your head. Do I know you?
Yeah, we met once before, but that doesn't really matter. How you doing?
I am doing just fine. How are you doing?
Oh, thank you. I'm doing well. Are you having fun DJing?
Having a decent time. Yes.
Have you ever thought about leaving?
What do you mean?
I mean, like, have you ever thought about just leaving this place? The rail? Going and
I mean,
doing whatever you wanted?
it's fine here. I get to do what I like to do, making noise on my contraption.
You don't want freedom, Solace?
Well, I have freedom.
How?
Well, I'm not bound to sell wares for my life. For me, this is freedom to choose the music I want to bring to people. And Crimp is a wonderful employer and lets me have my own room.
Like a room?
Like a room.
Is he mean to you?
No, Crimp is a nice employer.
And you get to be alone in your room?
Why, yes, it's my room.
Okay, have a good time making your music. And I turn around and walk away.
She goes back to this board. Is there anything anyone else would like to do in the rail?
Just proceed to the door to the Black Emporium.
Okay. So you guys begin making your way. You guys head down the stairs down to this main area that Isla is currently at, and start heading towards the bar. Whoa, Juno. That was a little puppy.
Well, that scared the shit out of me.
That scared the shit out of me too. So you guys head down the stairs to main area of this place. Head over towards the bar where there's the single door that again is one of these unmarked iron doors that leads towards the Black Emporium. And as your group is sort of getting all together and heading towards this door, you hear from the second level above you someone call down to you. Hey, you folks interested in a bit of work? And you see, sort of leaning over the railing, is none other than Crimp Vegelbach.
I'll turn and kind of allow myself to be upstaged.
Us?
Why, yeah, I've seen your faces a couple times coming through here. I've heard some horror stories of the things you've gotten yourselves into. Sounds like you might be, a couple of people that I might need. I heard you're freelance.
I think you've heard stories about another group of people, perhaps.
I mean, we'd be curious to hear what you had to say, but I don't know what horror stories you could have heard about us.
Well, heard from a little bird that you did some work for, well, people who don't like the overseers.
Abby, I thought the birds couldn't talk. Abby.
Just leave it.
Hey, what's the name again? Sorry, what's your name, sir?
Crimp.
Crimp?
I'm Mr. Vegelbach.
Mr. Vegelbach. Do you have like an office? Maybe somewhere where we're not shouting over a floor?
Do indeed got one up here.
Can we go talk to him?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
I gesture with my cane towards the stairs.
Okay. And Crimp sort of hops down from the railing and begins to head leftwards towards this closed off room. And as you guys come up the stairs, you can see through the lounge on the opposite side of the lounge is a wooden door that Crimp is currently holding slightly ajar and gives you a little motion to follow him in.
I follow.
Okay. coming into the room, you guys find yourself in a pretty nice office. Crimp has it decorated with various small little knickknacks on the walls, as well as he has 2 of these large leather couches and 1 large leather chair that he has situated himself in. Coming into the room, one of the first things you notice as well is that he has 2 Goliath bodyguards on either side of the door when you come in. So, glancing side to side, you can see the two bodyguards he has stationed, and sitting down in his chair, he motions to the couches in front of him. Please, take a seat.
Thank you. Well, what's up?
Well, seeing as how you're a bit of freelance, I've, well, as you know, I run this here establishment, and sometimes we get calls for interesting kinds of things to bring for our clients. One such thing is a certain kind of schnapps, only made in one portion of the wastes. It's, well, as far as schnapps goes, it's not great, but, people like it, people order it, people ask for it more. So, me and some of my employees have usually every couple of months, do a shipment there, send some people out, exchange of money and other resources, and we in turn get our schnapps. Unfortunately, a couple weeks ago, sent a few employees to the pickup place, to Valstead, out in the wastes. They haven't returned, and the worry is, well, I've worked with the kind of unpleasant people who work in the wastes, and I just, worry for my employees and for their families that don't want anyone being held for ransom. It's never a fun thing to be held for, and sort of looks to his hands. In the unfortunate circumstance that either of my employees have perished, I believe it is important to, well, find them. So, the thing I'd be interested in some freelance work for is tracking down my couple of employees and, well, if tracking them down brings you close to Valstead, picking up a shipment for me as well.
Have you been sent a notice of ransom? Do you know if they're being held hostage and if there's a fee?
I haven't been sent anything of yet, no, but well, having experienced it unfortunately in the past, usually takes a couple of weeks for the people out in the wastes. Takes them some time to figure out how they want to word a letter to get what they want. So, I'd be expecting one any time now, but as the days go by, I get a little bit more worried that, that the other thing has happened.
And this has probably got to happen right away, hey?
Well, sooner the better. I mean, at the end of the day, if my people aren't being ransomed, there's no real hurry in getting there, but there is the other side that I can always try and find others to do the job. Just thought, I've seen you come through, seen you, heard of some of your work, thought, why not give it a shot?
I kind of write myself, having not said much, and say, these 2 boys seem trustworthy. They can't do it.
Could send them, but they're more my personal entourage. I have a pool of employees, but the few that I've sent out to the wastes, they're a different breed than those in the city. Wastes aren't a place for city folk.
But these 2, they're trustworthy. You wouldn't let them say something if you didn't want it said.
I'm not sure I catch your meaning.
This is exhausting. I drop the disguise and I go, I'm sorry, I could not keep that facial expression up. I hate pompousness. It's just so exhausting.
There's a moment where the two bodyguards sort of reach for weapons on their hip, and Crimp, sort of confused, looking at you, recognizes you as who you are and gives him a bit of a wave. And well, interesting. Don't quite know why you felt you needed to disguise yourself in front of me, but
Just to get here, and then I wasn't entirely sure of your motive. But it's clear you just need a little bit of help, and well, we need a little bit of gold. How much are you willing to offer?
well, for the for finding either whatever happened or, if possible, bringing something back of my my two employees, willing to offer you all, well, better part of 1,000 gold.
Eat.
That information as a group, as a lump sum.
And
Recovering.
Mr. Cramp, so 1,000 gold for returning either information or the hopefully living bodies of your employees. What about for the inventory run, the delivery of the schnapps?
For the delivery of the schnapps, should you succeed in, well, getting my shipment to me as well, I'll throw another 1,000 on there for you.
I think we take it. Right here and right now. We will do it for you.
Well, that is very good to hear. I have some people who will be very, very happy to get some, some closure.
I just don't... Oh, you mean if they died?
Well, yes, these people do have family.
I just thought you meant people would be able to wet their whistle, like get the schnapps back in their life. That too, right?
Well, that too. That too. At the end of the day, this is a business.
And so are we.
Not incorporated, but yeah.
Well, no.
So, Mr. Cramp, I have something else on the go right now that is somewhat time sensitive. We may have a few days before we're able to get started on that. So we're actually just headed downstairs to learn a little bit more about that. So why don't we pass by your office on our way out with our answer? And I look around at the group.
It won't be long. Maybe like an hour from now. Hour and a half.
Well, I await your answer, and gives a hand signal to one of the bodyguards who swings the door open for you. If that is all, I'll return to my guests, and you may continue your, rest of your errands.
I have a question for you.
Yes?
The DJ?
Mm-hmm. Solace?
Solace. She has her own room?
Yes, she does.
You take care of her?
She's a free spirit, that one. And there's a lot of people here who, beginning to find that with Solace, there's some worry that others like her are being held against their will. So Solace is she's a symbol for a lot of people.
You don't hurt her?
Now, why would I do that?
Good question. But it's not an answer.
Sort of looks you up and down. No.
Insight check.
Okay, give me an insight check.
$20.
He's telling the truth.
I would also like to do an insight check. See Cramp look Isla up and down. Do I think he knows, or do I think he's inferring what she is?
Give me an insight check.
Awkward 20.
It's a very hard thing to read. Whether he's sizing her up as an AI as well, you don't really know.
Man,
Okay. I believe you.
Well, I look forward to hearing your answer.
Which she will receive shortly.
Goodbye.
Good day, folks.
I'm the last one to leave, and they go, "It's probably a yes, though. We'll be right back." And then I got like kind of a pep in my step, and I'm just like, "Woo! Alan's going to get paid like that. Going to make more drugs like that. Then we go to post." And I'm kind of like dancing along this like second floor and like kind of stomping on the. Oh, actually, what I'll do is I'll like slide along the railing and then like lean myself over like I'm gonna fall off the railing, and yeah, then I'll just like get back and go downstairs, and then yeah.
Okay.
I guess we're going to Black and Fortnite.
Okay. So, sliding across, doing your little dance, you can hear in the background there's just like some soft, almost like jazz music going on that Solace is playing, and some of the movements are timed properly, other ones are not. As you guys head towards the Black Emporium and begin making your way through the next series of doors, that is where we're going to take our break for tonight. So this is a good chance for everyone to get a snack, get a drink, go to the bathroom, wash your hands if you've been anywhere outside of your building. Just make sure that we're keeping ourselves clean and trying to make smaller the circle of people who may or may not catch this crazy thing going around that has very much changed our world. With that, we'll see you guys in 15 minutes, back for some more crazy steampunk action.
Woo!
and welcome to Dungeons and Drama Majors. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you guys had a good break. We sure did.
The best break.
The best break. With that, we're gonna jump back in with the party emerging into the Black Emporium. Woo! So we all enter the Black Emporium. You can see at the very center this circular, sort of about like 3-4 foot high wall that looks down deeper into the cistern that this this marketplace has been built in. You can see a few of the stands are closed and completely devoid of wares and anyone manning them. But you do see the very long, almost snaking counter of Brit's shop, Brit's sort of fence shop. And you see a number of small goblins sort of making their way around and helping a couple of customers that have come to the place. You see on the far left of the room one of these sort of open alcoves where you had been before to purchase wares from the two half-orcs you had talked to before. The place does look open. It also does look like Zorum's tattoo parlor is open as well. But besides that, everything else looks shut down at this point in the morning.
Sorry, including Brit's place, or you said someone's there?
No, Brit's looks like it's up and running.
Are we finding any metallic knuckles? Okay. Nothing but a knuckle. Golf knuckle. Did we head over to Brit's?
Sorry, I was just enjoying the music, Ludy. I'm in the place for work, and the Black Emporium is not that place. I mean, come on!
It's where we have received a lot of our work.
Blood skill. I give you an annoying smirk and a wink, and say, then let's get to it. And I'm going to stride straight towards Brit, producing out of my backpack a med kit. I'm going to walk up, and I'm just going to place it on the counter like a briefcase. Oh!
Okay.
I killed my captain. Did you hear me?
You pop the med kit on the counter like a briefcase.
That's right. That's exactly right, yeah.
I think it was a stylistic flair, Cal.
Okay. So you pop this thing down. Popping it down at the end of the counter, you see a couple of the goblins that are currently like running around and moving things from place to place. Some are organizing, others are in the process of moving things that are being sold to the various piles where they need to go. Others are looking through the piles for the various things that a couple of the customers on the far opposite end of the counter are currently purchasing. But popping this thing down, you pull the attention of 3 of these small goblins, each standing under 3 feet tall, as the 3 of them quickly sort of waddle their ways over towards you on your side of the counter. The counter's a little bit high for them. Counter's probably the better part of like 3.5 feet high, and so 2 of these goblins sort of like hop one on top of the other to get a better view of you, and the other one you just see like little fingers and like a long green nose sort of like poking up at the edge of the counter. And the one on top of the shoulders of their cousin, brother, sister, it's hard to tell how the family tree lines work in a goblin family, but they sit on top of the shoulders, sort of swaying as they keep their balance and just look at you wide-eyed.
I use my cane to like lower myself down into a deep Slavic squat, and I'm just gonna be on eye line with these small folk, and say good morning. What is it, afternoon, Ludi?
It's morning.
Morning to you. Is Brit here? Is Brit working today?
You see the one on top sort of look down and sort of pop someone on the head, and you see them sort of like almost fall back as the person that is underneath them looks up at them, and they have a short conversation in Goblin, which I don't know. Does anyone speak Goblin?
No.
Okay, they have a short conversation in Goblin, and the one on top looks up and in Broken Common says, Brit, here was hour ago. Come soon, yes?
Oh, she'll be back again.
Soon come. Brit.
She'll be. I turn around and say, soon come will she now? I'm not now. Now not. Maybe later. Later. How do you speak? You get the fuck what I'm saying.
She's probably on her lunch.
Yeah. So I suppose we shop around.
Do you know when she's coming back?
Soon back hour now.
Left an hour ago. She's coming back in an hour.
Sort of looks down at the goblin underneath them and soon back hour now.
What's your name?
Sort of looks down at the goblin underneath it and looks to the one whose nose is just peeking over and says something quick in Goblin, and the one whose nose you can just hear from underneath the counter, like a quick spit of Goblin towards this one on the shoulders, and it looks up. Oh, person list. Uta.
Uta. Uta. Nice name. My name's Ala. Uta. Ala.
Uta. Isla. Uta.
Mm-hmm.
Points underneath them. Uga.
Uga. Okay.
Peak.
Peak? Oh, that's such a fun name. Did you get to pick it yourself?
One whose nose is poking up sort of like pulls themselves.
Isla, I think they're numbers.
Tries to pull themselves up so that they can see you better and falls. You hear like a thump of one from the ground, and from below the counter you hear once again in sort of a mixture of common and goblin. Pick name. Yeah, no, huh?
That is so cute. Okay, we'll be back when Brit's back. Okay.
Soon come Brit hour.
Oh,
Yes.
1 second. I reach into my backpack and I pull out 3 cinnamon hearts. Do you guys want a candy?
This goblin looks very excitedly towards these heart-shaped candies. And
There's spicy. Fire. Mouth. No.
so like
No.
goes back a bit.
No. But sweet. Mmm. Yum. I rub my stomach.
It holds out its hand towards you.
Try one. I give one to each of them.
Okay. You see a hand come up from about like 6 or 7 inches below the one that's sitting on top of the shoulders. There's like these 2 arms poking up, and each one of them gets one of these cinnamon hearts. You see two of the arms disappear underneath the counter, and the one on top sort of pop it into their mouth, and they.
It's like a roller coaster, right?
Pulls out the cinnamon heart and like looks at it and like smells it. Just puts it back in their mouth.
What do you think, Uda? Yay? Nay?
Nah.
Okay. Uga. Yeah? Mm-mm.
You hear from underneath the counter. Yeah.
Okay. Peek? Or bleh?
The last one, you see, you haven't seen any hands or any nose from Peak, who's the one that's been looking up at you guys from underneath the counter. But you see a small green hand sort of reach up onto the counter and pop something down on the counter. And as the hand recedes, you see like a pretty wet cinnamon heart just on the counter.
Oh.
That is a name.
Anybody want a cinnamon heart? I talked to you guys.
I brushed it off onto the floor. Uta. Do Do you know what metal is? Metal?
Metal.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Metal hands. Here. Where?
Pats Uga underneath him and mumbles something in Goblin and looks back up. Hand metal robot man.
No, metal punch. Extra hard punch.
You see Uta just like trying to work this out in their head, and they like take their hand and
For me.
punch hurt metal.
Yes. 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 Punch hurt metal. Where?
Ludi, maybe we should ask someone who speaks a little more common.
Yeah, sounds great. Okay, thanks so much, Uga, Peak, and all you others. We'll be back soon.
Brit, hour.
Our Brit soon go come.
Yes.
Our Brits soon go come back. Bye.
Uda just looks perplexed as you guys leave.
Just want to say, in the confusion of a conversation between common speakers and goblins, I've just been like I stood up and just like kind of watched alongside Abby, and maybe you too, just because your eyes are great. I kind of bump him and say, nose is up. There could be a snake in our midst, and I'm not talking about me. And I just want to be aware for a face that I haven't recognized around here. Fucking sketch ass. This place is full of sketchy people. I'm pretty aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
But is there someone who isn't?
Give me a perception check.
Okay. I got a 13.
Okay. Glancing around the Black Emporium and the sort of splotchy light, areas of dim and bright light through this area, glancing around, you do see a number of faces you don't recognize. All of these faces you don't recognize are various customers that are at some of the stalls and purchasing various items. But you don't notice anyone who stands out amongst them. They all seem sort of relatively the same, sort of vagabondish, ne'er-do-well individuals.
I kind of let out an exasperated sigh. Not exasperated, relaxed sigh. And just look at Abby and say, feels like home. And look around at all the ne'er-do-wells and vagabonds.
Sort of on his cue, can I look around to see if anyone's paying a little too close attention to us?
You guys? Sure, give me a perception check.
Oh, 9.
Okay. Looking around, the only people who seem overly interested in you, you can see Uta, Uga, and Peak all still watching you as you walk away. You notice a couple of the other goblins also seem to be sort of pulled by this this broken conversation, and whatever they were saying in Goblin seems to have drawn a couple more of them. As they glance over at you, you notice a couple of the Emporium watchmen, the people who watch over the Emporium, make sure that the dark dealings are going over amicably. You notice a couple of them just glancing around, and every so often eyes land on you and then continue around the room. But no one out of the ordinary seems to be watching you.
Right. Sounds nice.
Yeah, I don't see any snakes around here. Just a regular, Yep. that good looker, that stunner right there. Look at him.
You blush so hard today. too much, okay?
Rex, you can't blush.
Figure of speeching. Figure of speak. What is it in common? In Draconic, it's Fusnova Gramanan, which means I am telling you something but saying something else.
That's really literate. That's really like literal of them to say.
Yes, and then in common it's figure of speech.
Figure of speech.
That's a weird figure of speech. Because a figure of speech is a figure of speech. Is it not?
Figuratively speaking. Just want to take a quick look around for those brass knuckles. Don't really know where I would find those. Kel, is there a shop tender nearby?
Glancing about, the only other two shops that are currently open at this point is the Orcish Wares place where Abby had gone to purchase his axe, and then Zoram's, which is where Jade got his tattoo.
Okay, I'm gonna head over to the Orcish Wares.
Is that the same place where I stole the thing from?
That is the same place that you robbed.
Okay, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna follow Ludi. I'll go with Ludi.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sort of skipping along over there. Excuse me.
Okay, so you guys enter the building. You guys enter. It's sort of like a small little, almost like an alcove off of the main cistern.
Okay, I was imagining a stall. Yes, I enter the alcove.
Okay. Coming in underneath the sort of cloth doorway of this place, you guys find yourself in a circular room that is broken off into two sides. Each side is manned by a different orc. From the first time you came in here, you remember, Isla, that there were two very burly orcs with very poorly made signs, making very poor marketing decisions.
Mm-hmm.
But this time, coming in, you notice two half-orcs still. They look a little bit more refined, and the signage is proper now, instead of this sort of broken common signage. You see one male and one female orc. One is at one side that it stands under a sign that reads magical contraband, and the other one stands under a sign that says general wares.
General wares. Is it the woman, the female orc that's at general wares?
General wares is the male orc.
Excuse me, sir.
Well, what can I help you with?
I'm not entirely sure if this is something along the lines of what you carry. I was wondering if you might point me in the direction of where I could maybe purchase some brass knuckles.
Brass knuckles?
Yeah.
So like something you put on your...
steel or silver.
Your wrist?
On my wrist?
Or your fist?
On my... yes, on my...
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's see here. And the orc turns around and begins going through a number of these like large wooden boxes behind them and starts sort of collecting things. And after about half a minute, comes back and starts laying down different sort of sets of brass knuckles. You see the first set is these like true, like made out of brass knuckles. You see another set looks to be made out of iron. It has sort of like a silver color to it. You see another set where it's not quite brass knuckles, but it's like a dagger that has brass knuckles sort of as the grip to this dagger. And then lastly, you see a set of brass knuckles where on each of the knuckles are sort of like these long points on each of the knuckles, on the brass knuckles. Well, here's sort of what we got as the just general storage.
I glance back at Isla. The ones with the spikes, the pointy bits on them, do they retract?
Sorry?
They retract. Okay. I take it they are more painful than the ones without the spikes.
Well, certainly in a different way. A bit pokier.
Yes, yeah. Kale, is there any way I can ask? Is there any way I should ask, like, what, if any, improvement this would give to my combat?
For you as a monk, so sort of in D&D terms, the best way that you're going to be doing damage is you have your martial arts die, which changes as you level up and is going to be increasing sort of the damage die of various weapons. While you're wielding monk weapons, which is any simple weapon or short swords, you can use your martial arts die in place of the damage die, which at this point, I believe your current deck, you have a D6 currently for your damage. Oh, wait, it's a D4. I think you should.
It's D6 plus 4.
Yes.
Correct.
So D6, I believe. Let me just double check with the simple weapons here. Yeah, D6 is the highest damage that a simple weapon can do. So right now, damage-wise, a new weapon wouldn't improve your damage. It might change the damage type. Like for instance, with your unarmed strikes, you're right now dealing bludgeoning damage. But if you got something like daggers, you could do piercing damage. If you got something like a hand axe, you could do slashing damage.
Okay. No, I'm gonna think about it, and I'll be back.
Well, okay.
Hey,
Yeah.
I have a question for you. I was here. Oh, geez, must be about 2 months ago now. And this place looked really different. Have you, like, remodeled recently, or new ownership, or?
Two months ago?
I think so.
Yeah, it's same place 2 months ago.
Really? Like, you haven't even changed your signs or anything? I could swear.
Not 2 months ago, no.
Tyler, we were here last week.
I speak in your head now. Oh, I didn't want him to know that.
I don't think you were with us, though. Actually, it was just
Oh, yeah, I haven't been here in a long time. But you haven't remodeled? You haven't, like, renovated those signs? Are you sure those are the same signs you had?
Each time's the same ones we're supposed to have out in the month.
Okay. Well, they're lovely.
Well, thank you.
My mind must be playing tricks on me.
Indeed.
I'm just gonna go out on a limb here. This is what I'm doing in my head. Is there anything on the wall that I could ask this shopkeeper about to take him away from the counter?
There are currently various like weapons. There seems to be like a flail, a large mace, a number of various bladed items along the wall that you could point to. He has currently collected all the brass knuckles and sort of popped them in a different spot behind the counter. So the counter is empty currently.
Yes, I don't have brass knuckles whatsoever. I just want to give Isla an opportunity if she's looking for one. So walking over to the... What is this stick with the ball on top and the spikes?
Sort of looks at you and looks at the wall, looks back at you. It's a flail.
Could you, I'm so sorry, I thought I knew what a mace was, and I thought I was describing a mace. Let's just move on.
I think you did, Brayden.
Okay, so, could you help me take this off the wall? I just want to see what it feels like.
He looks at you and looks back at the wall and like one-handed grabs this thing and slams it down on the counter.
Oh, he was behind the counter. Oh. Is there anything on the walls away from the counter? Like in the circular, sort of, like in the, like, away from the counter somewhere on the wall?
As this is a place that is frequented by thieves, everything is behind counters.
Okay. Wow, this is quite the rod. Wow, my arms are tired already. Oh, thank you so much for your help today. And I scurry out.
Oh, okay. I follow him.
Okay, you guys head out of Orcish Wares.
Okay.
I'm s-
We need to We need to
We need to fuck? What?
What? I said we need to find.
We
Find
need
them.
to
Find the boys.
the boys. Yes, yes. Absolutely.
Because I swear, Ludi, that place was different. That place was different. I was there. Like 2 weeks ago.
Different how?
Like, it looked different. Like, I think those were different people back there. The signs were different.
And
What?
so
Well, he lied to me.
I'm checking. Why would he lie about renovations?
I don't know. Seems pretty suspicious, doesn't it? I really think we should get the guys so that one of them can back me up and tell me that it in fact is different.
Were any of them there? Oh, there they are. Where are they, Cal?
Have you guys gone anywhere specific? Have you guys gone over to Zorm's? Have you?
No.
Besides that, there's not a whole lot open in the Emporium right now.
No. I stand waiting and then see Ludi exit Orcish Wares. And I'll go over there because I got a little shop thing I might need to do. But I just go, Ludi, hey, what's up?
The brass knuckles were an absolute waste of space. They would have done absolutely nothing for me. They were a sort of dingy metallic color that I just really understand now why I was never trained in other weapons.
Oh,
Me, at least.
you're pretty effective on your own.
Yeah, I just wanted to spice it up. Anyways, have you been in Orcish Wares in the last, couple weeks, month or...
Oh yeah, and I'm going in now. Come here.
Well, Isla, you should...
What?
Okay. Oh, were you in there when we were here 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I looked for a shield.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in there too. What's up?
Yeah.
Okay. Before we walk in that store, describe to me what it looked like when we were in there.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
there were
Yeah.
Yeah,
there
yeah.
were two big oafs who ran the place.
Uh-huh.
One of them could hardly speak common.
Yes, thank you.
And they had weapons with a Z. And I feel like magic or shinies was the other side or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there was like a third one, wasn't there? There was like an armor stand.
Oh,
There was a lady there with with tusk rings. They were super sweet. Wanted to buy some.
she was cool.
Yep.
Yeah, like she was the lady standing right. Huh? And I look at
Okay,
No.
so pulling open the cloth that acts as the doorway to this shop, you see the shop is a lot more organized than you last saw it. The last time you were here, there were things sort of everywhere and mismatched. The signs were not how they are now. They look quite refined and well cut into wood, whereas the old ones looked like something someone just randomly cut into the wood to sort of act as signs. The two orcs standing at either end of this room look a lot more put together and don't look. They are definitely not the oafs that you saw earlier. They seem definitely more put together.
See?
I look back and with a very serious face I say, something happened here.
That's what I'm saying. And I speak in their heads now. I asked him about it, And he said they haven't gotten new signs, they haven't renovated, or nothing's changed in over 2 months.
I will investigate.
Thank
And
you.
conjure a minor illusion, actually disguise self, a Sherlock Holmes deer hunter hat. I pull the curtain to the side and I enter.
Okay. So you enter. You see on your left-hand side is the female orc under the sign Magical Contraband. On the right-hand side is the male orc under the sign General Wares.
I kind of stand between them with my arms crossed. And I do this.
They both sort of glance up at you. The woman waits for a few moments and, well, what can I do for you, sir?
Just that. I move forward towards her and say, you are, no doubt, an employee of this place.
Not just an employee, one of the owners.
You're one of the owners.
Yes, indeed.
Is that... I ask you now, Kale, is that true? I want to insight check that.
Sure, give me an insight check.
Alright. 10.
She seems to be telling the truth.
And have you always been the owner of this place?
Yes, and why are you asking?
I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna now pause my investigation to look at potentially some of the things behind her. But really, it's just to like kill a little bit of time, and I want to know if while I'm looking at them, my friends come in as well.
Okay, do you guys follow in behind Rex?
Yeah, I'm gonna step in as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Rex, you see behind her in Magical Contraband, you see a great variety of items.
Yeah.
You see on a small little stand, you see 3 of these small, about golf ball sized sort of silver orbs. You also see back on the wall itself this long staff that ends in this almost like gnarled wooden head that holds a purple crystal. You also see a shield that is emblazoned with a pretty intricate sigil across it that it looks familiar but doesn't quite spark what it is. And you notice something else on the back wall that pulls your attention, which is a looks to be like the hilt of a longsword, and that's all it is. It's just the hilt of a longsword, just sort of hanging on the wall.
Okay. I kind of scan over it, and then I feel my pouch and notice I have no gold. And I go, oh, that's snacks. And then I turn to face my fellows and say, yes, this place is reputable and cool. And I kind of walk towards them as my hat sort of just disappears subtly.
You guys see from behind him the orchestra and just like takes like a double take at his head and
Hey, what's that?
what?
What's that? The sword with no sword?
He glances over her shoulder and let me show you. And she heads back and grabs this long sword hilt off the wall and pulls from her side this sort of like light purple dust that she sort of presses across her hand and closes her eyes for a moment and opens them again as you see this purple dust just sort of fade into her skin. Well, this one's kind of interesting. Just looks like a hilt. Not a whole lot to it. But when you, when you say the command word, enlighten, and you watch as this blade of pure flame appears from the handle and extends to the better part of about 4 feet off the longsword itself. Yeah.
Oh my gods.
Hey,
She
can you,
waves her hand across it, douse, and you see the flame sort of.
Did you say purple flame?
No, it's an orange flame.
Okay.
She had this purple dust that she put over her hand, but it's an orange flame.
Okay.
hey, can you just keep doing that? Like, just all the time? Like, just keep enlightening? Just keep achieving enlightenment and keep dousing? Like,
She-
just that?
looks at you and looks at the
That
sword.
loud?
Enlighten. You say, douse. Enlighten. Douse.
You mind if I try it out for a moment? Just want to see if I can swing it nicely. Here, and I put my sword cane and I show it to them. You can have this so you know that I won't run away.
She puts her hand on it and she holds the sword. Enlighten, and you say, and she hands it to you.
I go, it's hot.
It is indeed gets a bit of heat built up.
But I just want to see if it's like really light or if it feels heavy like a longsword. Like would I apply dex to the attack?
It as you're swinging it, although it's just this hilt, it feels like it has some serious heft to it, almost like the blade itself. It has, not that it has weight, but it almost has like resistance, like air resistance. Like it still catches the air as if it was physical, although it's just this blade of pure flame.
So more like a long sword, less a short sword?
More like a long sword, less like a short sword.
I go, oh, not for me. And then I go, bows. And then I put it back on the counter.
You say douse, and the weapon stays lit, and she, let me, and she sort of grabs it by like the bottom of the hilt and grabs it, douse, and she pops it back on the table.
What's the purple stuff you put on your hand?
It's a trade secret.
Is it like powdered magic?
God damn it, you're smart. Most of these items, you gotta be in the right mindset to use them properly. This just makes it so you can temporarily use it.
And do you sell that to go with the items if someone doesn't have the right mindset?
Well, ideally, you spend some time with the item, make it your friend, take it out to dinner, and sort of build a bond with the item. I don't really have that time when I'm selling you the item, so I use the dust.
Yeah. No, you are speaking my language. Hey, like, just out of curiosity, that looks like a good piece right there, right?
Yeah, it is indeed.
Yeah, so just like out of curiosity, if someone were to take that off of your hands permanently in a legitimate transaction, how much would that require them?
I'd be willing to part with an item like this for 1,500.
Yep, that sounds about right. Okay. I've seen enough for today, and Abby just turns, like heel turns and leaves.
Okay.
What about, so you seem to have a number of magical wares here. Are they all weapons, or do you have anything outside of the weapon category?
Well, I got these, and she goes behind and grabs one of these 3 silver balls and pops it on the counter.
Do you play marbles? What do they do?
Well, do any of you got any sort of magical aptitude?
I make the Sherlock Holmes hat reappear and just look at her like this.
Ah, there we go. Well, for someone like you, this is sort of useful. Let's see, this one takes a bit more setup. And she goes underneath the counter and pulls out this quite large brown sack and pops it down and begins to sort of like go through the various components in this pouch and pulls out a couple of little things and pops them on the counter and puts the pouch away and takes more of this purple dust and sprinkles it across these components and picking them up in her hand. You guys might want to stand back just slightly. And standing back about 5 feet from this object, she, holding these components in her hand, sort of throws them out towards this object, and you see this wall of flame begin to spread from her hands, and as it contacts the orb, it just sucks into it. And then she picks up the orb, and it's like, ooh, ooh, ooh. Just kidding, it's not actually that hot. Well, then once you've got some of your magic-y stuff in this, then you She sort of holding this orb and throwing it up and down. Excuse me, say. She picks up a pail from the ground and looks around again and picks up a tankard and pours what looks like the remnants of a beer into this pail. And looking at the orb and looking at the beer pail, goes, "Yeah, there should be enough." And she rubs her hand across the top of the ball so it sort of rolls along her palm, and you see the same wave of flame emit from the orb into the bucket. You hear the hissing of beer and the just disgusting smell of burnt, evaporating beer that comes out of this bucket. The bucket is slightly on flame for a moment, and she sort of like shakes it to get it doused, and pops the bucket back down. Yeah, so it holds your magic-y stuff, and then you can release your magic-y stuff.
Like a spell slot wallet. Sorry.
Yeah, sorta.
Billy lingo.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was actually wondering if you maybe had anything that was like, a means of disguise, or like, I don't know, like a cloak of security, or
you want this, and she
non-magical customers.
Yeah, I got you. And she goes back, and you see like a coat hanger where there's like this dark trench coat hung over this coat hanger, and what looks like this like black top hat with a purple plume sticking out of it. And she goes towards it and pulls off the top hat and walks over to you guys, and holding this goes, "Well, your friend with the hat will like this one." She puts the hat on. She closes her eyes, opens them again, and looks at Rex, and closes them again. And you see, starting from the hat and going down her body, an illusion begins to cover her that makes her look exactly like Rex Murgalax, including the hat.
How much is that? And how common?
Well, depends on the people, could sort of range in rarity. I'd say, it's decently rare. Not a lot of people have one of these, and takes some serious work to make one really work and not set your clothes on fire. This one is, well, not quite as fancy as the sword back there. This one's selling for $750.
Would you consider a payment in installments with interest?
Excuse me?
Mm-hmm. Yo, what's an installment? What's interest?
Like, I will pay more than $750 if you allow me to pay the total amount in smaller chunks over a series of weeks.
So you're telling me you'd like to take this item off my hands for less than its value right now?
Yes.
In the hopes that you come back and pay me the full price?
Well, not exactly in the hopes.
That sounds like a fancy scheme.
No, it's not a scheme. We, Rex and I...
Is it though? It kind of is.
Rex and I are very frequent customers of the black market, and we actually often do odd jobs here and there for many of the shop owners. So it's an important place for us to maintain our very good reputation, and you can be assured that I would do nothing to make it dangerous or impolite for me to return here. So I have 120 gold, 13 silver, and 10 coppers, which I will give you entirely right now. And I can assure you that as each week goes by, I will pay you at least that amount every time. And you can determine the interest rate. And yeah, how does that sound to you? I will pay more than 750 all in all for that item. It's just a matter of time.
Give me a persuasion check.
How much did she say it was initially?
750.
I'm going to use a luck point for that. Well, I guess I'll see what I get. But so 12 on the die. I'm going to use a luck point. And that was a 10. So persuasion, 12 plus 16.
Okay. She looks at you. You know, you've been talking this whole time, and you know, my attention span isn't great. It sort of just became yada yada. I'm gonna pay you in a week. Yada yada. Maybe. I'm sorry. It's just not the kind of business we're interested here in Orcish Wares, especially after the incident of last week.
What the incident?
Oh, I take it you guys never met him.
Met who?
Well, it's more of a it's sort of a family issue.
My hat grows bigger.
Still being worked out.
What happened?
Well,
Did someone die?
no. No one died. Myself and Ogrim over there, and gives a wave to the male orc, and he sort of nods his head over to her. We went on a bit of a business trip, heading to Post, do a little bit of trading, see if we could find any new knickknacks for the shop. And while we were on this trip, while we were checking things out, we thought we'd leave the shop in the hands of a couple of our cousins. They seem trustworthy people, not necessarily the brightest kind of folks, but they seem like they would know transactions at the very least. So we came back. We found out that most of our supplies had been sold for, a portion of what they were worth. We also found that our cousins had taken off with some of our stuff. So, still recovering from that little bit of a family issue.
Family?
Well, I've got the offer for you. I've got something better than interest. What was the value of one of these items, let's say?
Well, it depends. The value of some of these items went anywhere from 3 gold to 500 or 600.
Well, let's say I was able to return one of these items by hunting down your cousins and getting that item and returning it to you. If it was worth, 500 or 600, and I'll have made a little bit more money by that time, probably. Could we consider the value of the item I returned to you a sort of a reduction on the cost of that lovely plumed hat? Like,
Here's a persuasion check.
Good thinking.
9.
Okay. She thinks for a moment. You know, I'd almost say yes. Like it'd be helpful to have someone try and figure out if any of these things are still within the network, if they haven't been sold off and beyond. But it's just Ogrim and I are more in the market now to just keep things just us. We've suffered that financial loss, and we find that we can only blame ourselves if things go poorly, if we're the only ones who handle our goods.
Well, that sucks. You think you can trust people, hey?
Yeah, exactly, and they're a family, like we've known them since they were kids. They were,
That's so weird.
well, we thought they were good.
And did they steal much? Like a lot of stuff, or just...
Well, it wasn't that they stole a ton, but they stole things of decent value. They're not the brightest, so they mostly stole things that look the shiniest, which isn't always the most expensive thing. But Yeah, they stole enough.
Wow. Well, I hope business booms for you.
Well, here's hoping as well.
I pull Ludi aside for a moment and say, Ludi, we're about to come into a lot of money. And that hat could save your life. With the money that you have and the money that we're about to get, we can almost afford it.
Yeah.
So let's use it.
Yeah, I guess if we do that job for Crimp.
No, I'm saying from Brit. She's going to give us 1,000 gold.
Yeah, but split 5 ways. That's...
I only see 3 others from me.
Are you saying that you would give me your portion of that payment?
All of it.
Well, that's very... that I couldn't accept that. But you're right, still, split 5 ways.
Oh no, I didn't know, not 5.
No, we should send Jade his money.
I bring Ludi even further aside and say, Jade is dealing with something on his own, and we can use that. Money matters, Ludi.
Yes, but Jade risked his life to earn that money, and in addition to that money, you get a special bonus that really only benefits me. So I think it's essential that we divide our earnings from Brit 5 ways and, send his share to him.
Did you say wise?
I said it. I don't remember what I said, but I do think it would be wise to do that. I also
kind, not wise.
Well, yes, wise, maybe not smart or keen or any of those things, but wise, yeah, because he's an ally in a rather unfriendly world. So, we should give him what he's due. But, it's up to the group, I guess. I didn't think it would be up for discussion, but I suppose it is up to the group.
I shrug it. Sorry?
I'm not shrugging you, but I'm just walking out of the store. But I'm not, I'm like backing up as we're talking and I'm heading out.
Yeah, I kind of move out too, and then also just gently separate myself from the group, and I'm just gonna wait for Britt.
Okay. Oh, well, I think I head over to where you're waiting for Britt.
Okay.
Unless you want space or something.
No. I just mean like, if you guys are doing something, I'm just waiting.
No, I think I'm just gonna plop myself down and wait for Britt to arrive.
Okay. Isla and Abby, is there anything you guys would like to do while you wait for Britt?
Maybe not immediately, but just for reference, how close is Daisy's to the low end exit of the rail?
To the low end exit of the rail, Daisy's is on the, I believe it's on the western side of the low district. And so the low district exit from the Black Emporium exits on sort of the eastern side of the low district. So it probably the better part of like a 25-minute sort of journey from there, but it's not bad.
Okay. For sure. Right. Keep that in my back pocket.
Isla, Abby, Rex and I just stumbled across a fairly important point. I feel, well, the money that we are about to make from Britt whenever she arrives was a payment to the 5 of us, Jade included, and I feel that we should send him his 5th. Rex thinks that he might be okay with us not doing that and keeping it for ourselves. And I think it's a group decision. If you guys agree with that, then I'm not going to say I agree, but I'll go with what the group decides. I'm going to fight it, but I just wanted to bring it up. And immediately sensing that I may have just thrown Rex under the bus, I kind of looked down at the ground.
I mean, Jade did the work. Jade gets paid. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's how it works, right?
Yeah, I agree, but I think we should put it in a pouch and keep it somewhere safe in your house because I don't think we should put it in the mail.
I mean, we could also just go to Fontaine's, go up to, like, I don't know, Sigil or somebody and be like, hey, I mean, if we can't find Jade, we can just be like, go to someone we trust and then, be like, hey, pass this on to Jade. If Jade doesn't get this money, we know who to look at, right?
We do have, she's got some of her boys guarding the entrance, just on the other side of the market, so we could give it straight to them today, but I don't know, maybe they would just keep it for themselves. I don't know, Rex, what do you think?
We're never going to afford anything if we're not smart with our money.
I mean, I just want to be smart with my allies here, right?
I
want Jade to look favorably back on his time with us and how we paid him what he was owed.
Abby, just because he's not getting 200 gold now means he will not get it later.
Do you mean that we spend his money now and do an IOU the next time we run into him?
If it seems that he feels ill favor towards us for spending his money, then we give him his money back. But if it is no skin off of his halfling nose, we do not give him the money back. We spend it now. I don't know if you two can understand the dangers that Ludi and I might be in from the overseers, but my ability to change my appearance is perfect for the situation. If Ludi could too, that would save us a lot of trouble. Having that hat could change things.
It would also be...
I'm personally going to donate... Oh, I couldn't hear you, Braden. What'd you say?
It would also be the worst fashion choice I've ever made in my entire life.
Well,
but that's the point. That's definitely besides the point. But, maybe Ray or something.
How much is the hat?
750.
And how much are we gonna get each?
1,000. Unless Brett's feeling generous.
But my thinking is that like with my share of the money from Grit and if we take this job from Crimp, while we're waiting for Ezen, I might be able to afford that hat within a week or so. So it's not a big deal.
Well, what if you take my portion of Brit's money now, and then you just pay me back when we get paid from Crim in a week? Just borrow.
Yeah. Would you be comfortable with that, Isla?
Well, I just offered it.
Oh, sorry. I have a terrible habit of just thinking that people are offering things because they feel bad and not because they actually want to. That's really generous of you. Are you absolutely sure you don't want that money right now?
Yeah, I have 12 gold. I'm good.
Okay. Well, I mean, if I took that, then, your share is 200, my share is 200, and I have 120, so that I'm still 230 gold short at that point.
I thought you had Rex's, too.
You have my 200 as well.
Rex.
Your money is my money, and mine is yours.
Okay. Okay. Well, yes, that's. Thank you.
The only thing I ask is that at some point down the line you make a donation to the Children of Rex.
Oh, absolutely, Isla. After I pay you back first, and then I will.
Sure.
I'll pay you back, and Rex, I will pay you back, and then after that, I will donate to the Children of Rex before I keep anything for myself. Absolutely. But the thing is that depending on the kinds of situations we get into, I'll just get into even more debt than with you guys if we need to spend money or like buy food or something like that, because even with all that, I'll go straight down to zero, and then I can't contribute to the beers that we buy or the meals that we buy.
Here's an idea. This is the idea, huh? Oh, wait for it. Here it is. Oh, Brit's going to give us 1,000. Each of us gets 200, and then Jade's amount is the party fund. And the party fund is used for things that benefit the party. So then we cannot use it for Ludi's hat because that is a Ludi. That is a Ludi situation. But if we need food, that is party situation. Use it to pay for that, and it's easy to refill the party fund because it's just a little amount for food and drink.
Also, food and drink money is trivial. It costs nothing. Today, Abby and I paid double what we needed to for breakfast because we were too awkward for one of us to pay for it. And didn't even put a dent in us.
Yeah, like that's fair enough. I mean, man, I feel pretty bad about spending Jade's money without him knowing.
The thing is, it's not Jade's money.
It's Jade's money.
It's not Jade's money.
He did the work.
Money's a number.
He should be compensated for his labor.
I'm not saying we don't pay Jade. What are you talking about, Abby?
I'm saying how we don't even have 200 gold between us right now. If we go and we spend it, he could come back, who knows, when he has resolved his little issues with his family, he could come back and we could be flat fucking broke. I'm just worried that, we go, we party fund it, we're trying to be responsible with our funds, we go out, we buy 4 more motorcycles because we just did that one time, and then he comes back and he's like, hey guys, the thing that we did together, that I did a big part of, that I helped out with a lot, turned myself invisible, put myself at risk, and where's my money for that? And then we're like, listen, bud, we spent it. And we don't have any more money because we spent all our money. What are we going to do then?
Okay, I have a plan. We take Jade's $200, we tape it to the underside of Rex's sink. Okay? I have 17 gold, and I'll tell you 5 silver. And if we need money for food or beer, we can use that for the next couple weeks. We're gonna get paid again in like a week. We won't die.
Yeah, and Moody, with my share, we have 800, and it's way more worth it for us to be alive than it is for me to have that money. I feel like maybe I'll just add to the pool, and then we'll figure out you paying us back. You'll be with us. We can spend the next 1,000 how we need to.
You hear behind you, while you guys are all having this conversation about money, you hear from behind you and a couple feet down,
Jeez, money's a lot easier when you're just a dick about it.
and you turn around and you see Britt standing there, just sort of watching you guys, arms folded.
Well, little birdie tells me you guys might have some information for me. Come on, my stall.
So good to see you.
You as well. Good to see you alive.
Abby, thank you.
I pull up the kit and pop it back on the stall, and I go back to a squat.
Okay. She pops herself behind the counter and takes a couple steps up onto a couple boxes to get herself sort of at your guys' level.
Well, I don't take it that Ezen's inside the box, is he?
Not exactly. And we're going to crack it open, pull it, and then protrude the small memory bead.
As you pull out this small blue bead, you can see like the hint of recognition in Britt's eyes, and she that sneaky little halfling, and she looks intently at the small blue orb and waves her hand over it, and you see the orb just sort of turns into mist, this blue mist that sort of swirls between her fingers and then quite abruptly pours up her nose as her head sort of goes back. And you see her sort of look out into the room, not seeing what's ever in front of her, seeing something that this thing has given her vision of. And she smiles, a big smile curls across her goblinoid face.
Well, I'm very glad to see that Ezen is okay, and it seems like he had some very positive interactions with you. So, it would seem I owe you some money.
Well, you got it sitting around.
Begus, Morgan, get the money.
And two of these little goblins sort of zip behind her and start shuffling around in boxes, and you hear the sound of like hinges opening and coins being pulled out. You hear a couple coins hit the ground and a couple little sharp little words in Goblin that all you can imagine is that they're swears of like, why did you drop that? What the fuck? And they're gathering this money, and soon a series of 5 bags are produced by these little goblins who hoist them up onto the counter above them, and Brit sort of slides them out in front.
Well, I owe you 1,000 gold, and you are 1 man short. Should I just mix the money in, or you guys are having such difficulties figuring out its money? I'll just give you the side bag. You guys can do whatever the hell you want with it. In addition, I heard you all talking about money and the woes that come with money. I did indeed offer you a favor in addition to the payment for Ezen's safe retrieval. And I mean, Ezen's giving you his own favor with, from what I've heard, a little bit of a delivery service. However, if you're in the market for a bit more money, I'm willing to buy my favor off of you for 500 gold.
Sidebar, please, if you don't mind, for a quick second.
Exactly what I was going to say. We will consider your offer. One moment. So, guys.
I don't like it. If she's willing to offer 500 gold for a favor, that favor has to be worth something. I think we should hang on to it.
Yeah.
Hang on to the favor opposed to maybe ask for more money?
Here's the thing. The favor was, well, as you know, initially going to be contacting my mother. She doesn't know that. For me. So I suppose it matters, it's sort of the decision hinges upon whether or not the favor can be any favor, or if it's only the favor we agreed upon. Because we don't need the favor we agreed upon initially, but it may be valuable to hold on to the favor.
Oh, but she knows about the delivery. I thought. So I feel like she knows that, like, her thing, she's off the hook for it, but she still offered us the favor, so she still owes us, right? But it could be anything. Like, I feel like we would have had to pay Ezen a lot more than 500 gold for him to just do that for us, pro bono, right? Like, and he's doing it pro bono, rather. Yeah.
He made us pay him like 100 gold for an hour.
Yeah. So that's big.
Like, are you suggesting we save the favor, or are you suggesting we ask for more than 500 gold in exchange for the favor?
I think we should save it.
Save it?
Yeah.
I nod with like a sneaky and cheeky grin, and I turn back to Britt and I go down the spot and say, Britt,
Yes.
I'm sure you heard at least a few words uttered over there.
A couple here and there. Big ears. They help.
We are so, say it with me, guys, so
So
appreciative of your offer. More gold would be amazing. We figure an offer for a favor could prove beneficial in the future. And I'm not one to like keeping people in debt. I'm in enough of it myself. But we will have to decline your 500 gold.
Well, I do appreciate that you value the worth of my favors. So be it. Your money, as it is yours. I do appreciate the work you did for me, as does my family. And you hear a cacophony of a mixture of yeses and what can only be yes in Goblinoid. Sort of like cascade across the group of goblins that has began to increase in number as the morning has gone on. Well, look forward to perhaps working with you again in the future.
Oh, Britta.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, actually. And also just a little note. I adore your family. We were talking to Uda, Uga, and Peek earlier, and they were just fantastic.
They are a bit talkative, those three.
They are. They're wonderful. Do you buy things?
Well, let me tell you something, sweetie. She motions for you to come closer. The business I run, I'm a fence. I buy things that are stolen.
Okay. Would you buy something from me?
I don't know. You're kind of shady.
Shadier than people you work with.
What is it, sweetie? What would you like me to buy?
I don't want people to see it.
Oh, it's a secret. Well, come on, boys. Turn around.
Okay. I, under my shirt, take off the necklace, pull it out. Over, and then I, doing my best to sort of hide it as I show it to her. I'm just gonna lean forward with it.
She extends a series of long goblin fingers towards it.
So something's, yeah, oh yeah, here. Something you should know about it. It's a necklace of protection. So sometimes it can make you a little sturdier, we'll say. A little harder to get.
She flips it over and, did we lose someone?
We lost Jackson.
Oh no.
He's, there he is.
Yay! She flips it over in her fingers and gives it a bit of a look over, and you see she seems intrigued by it. Well, it certainly is what you say it is. It doesn't look very well made. It might have a couple issues with it, such as, not quite working the way it's intended to. But, what's a saleswoman without being able to spin a bit of a lie? I'll offer you $250.
$275.
Give me a persuasion check.
Is that the etheric scanner?
No, this is the flawed amulet of protection that she has.
Did you say persuasion? 22.
Holds it in her hand and looks at it.
When it works, it works.
It appears I'm working with someone who has run a business before. And she sort of holds the necklace by the chain and drops it, and you see a couple small goblin hands sort of reach up and catch it just as it passes below the counter. All right.
reaches below, and you see another pair of goblin hands pull up a sack of coins, and she sort of weighs it in her hand, and hey, Morgan, 5 more. And one of the goblins goes back, and you hear the clinking of a couple coins, and she comes back and opens up this pouch and pops 5 more coins in it. 275.
Thank you very much.
While we're on the subject of trading, is this of any interest to you? And I procure the disc with the dome on top of it.
She takes it, she extends some goblin fingers towards you.
I imagine it might be, I pass it. I imagine it might be beneficial for anyone conducting undercover research. It's prime tech technology that's used by, it's not for sale. It's behind the scenes tech of theirs.
Well, it's certainly not something I've seen before.
To be honest, I haven't figured out how it might work, but I do think it would hold some value if you have any clients that are researching the work of prime tech.
See her sort of fiddle with it, and you see her sort of pull on the outside ring, and you see it once again glow, this central dome begin to light up. We got 2 Jacksons. It's hilarious.
Hold on.
What? Oh,
Yeah, there's 2. Your one that lagged out is still here.
get out of here, old Jackson.
Really funny. She gives it a bit of a look over.
Yeah, certainly seems interesting, and, well, at the end of the day, I can at least scavenge it for parts. I'll offer you 100 for it.
I just look around at the group. Ella, 100?
I'm sorry, Braden. Honestly, I was trying to deal with technical things. I don't know what you're selling right now.
Oh, it's okay. Yes, 100. That sounds great.
All right. Morgan, once again, 100.
And a couple seconds pass as you hear again the clinking of coins being counted out, and she produces a smaller satchel of coins and passes them over to you.
Anything else you folks are interested in getting off your hands while you're here?
You've got the keen mind, absolutely. I just want to know what Ludi sold. What was it?
Ludi sold the thing you guys got off of one of the Prime Tech scientists, that disc with the central dome that lit up in the service station.
Now, do we have 2 etheric scanners or just one?
You guys have one that's broken and one that works.
I should probably keep the one that works. Okay. I look and I say, you know what, Brett? I found an object that may not seem very valuable at first glance, and I dangle Jamie's key ring, and I say, but it could prove very useful in the future. And I say, those are keys to a warehouse in Black Dock. Any thief that's looking for a big score could buy that from you for a very high price.
She looks at the keys, and you can see the little bit of greed in her eyes and the excitement over this item. Let me see.
I place them on the counter.
And she scoops them up and looks to the small circle of goblins that over the course of these transactions have slowly gathered around her to take the items you're selling and sort of cart them off to the various areas they need to go to in her little shop. And she takes a look at these and passes them down. Ugak, get the book. And one of the goblins sort of rushes off and begins sort of leafing through a pile of looks to be this large rectangular, some sort of weird Jenga pile of books and papers that are on the far left side of Britt's little shop. And after a little while, this goblin sort of climbing up a little bit on this pile pulls out a thin brown book and brings it over to Britt, and Britt pops it down on the counter and begins flipping through pages. And as you're looking sort of from the opposite side of the counter
as she's flipping through these pages, you see a number of names on top of each page and what looks to be the shaded in silhouette of a key as she flips through these pages and keeps sort of like cross-referencing the key, and sort of eventually gets to the page that she wants and sees one of the keys, and and keeps flipping, and she does this for all 4 keys on the key ring, and closes the book, passes it back down to the goblin that brought it to her.
Well, certainly is interesting. We'll have to do a little bit more research on exactly where these keys open. If it is in the warehouse, or it's some more personal effects. How long ago was it that you said you acquired these items?
Oh,
The party was about 2.5, 3 weeks ago.
okay. About 2.5, 3 weeks ago.
Well, because we run the risk of locks possibly being changed if this individual misses these keys, do have to lower the price slightly, but you never know what you might find in some of these warehouses or various places people forget to relock. I'll offer you 500 for it.
You know, Brett, I was going to ask for a little more, you know. If you were to find something lucrative inside, we've had such a business, you know, between the two of us, I would probably want a big cut. You know, I might be losing out a lot here. I could do the job myself, but I'm giving you an opportunity.
I'll offer you $350 and 25% whatever's in them.
I'm beaming. Rex keeps, like, such a stone cold face. Well, I do need some new armor, and I show that I'm wearing none, so 425% should do it.
And she extends a series of goblin fingers towards you. Shakes your hand.
Ooh! Rex, Merglax, pleasure doing business with you.
You, Brett, and you.
Ubak, get the book. And the same goblin that went off and got this small brown book comes back with another ledger that is huge. This looks to be a book, and you can see along the binding, it looks like new bindings have been stitched onto it to make it continuously thicker and thicker. And Britt flips back to, like, the vast majority of the book is on the left-hand side now with all the pages flipped. There's just a few pages remaining on the right-hand side. And she reaches down, and almost as if, it's almost magical the way these goblins move around her, and almost as if summoned, a little quill pops into her hand as one of these goblins sort of lifts up a quill for her to use, and she picks it up and writes down Rex Mergalax, pours out a small bit of the ink onto the parchment, presses her thumb into it, and then presses it down on sort of the middle portion of the page, spins the book around and pushes it towards you.
Just need your thumbprint.
Press it into the wet ink, and pressing it beside her thumbprint. She then spins the book back towards her, writes down a couple little notes underneath it, closes the book.
Pleasure doing business with you, Rex Mergalax.
Pleasure doing business with you.
Morgan? And the same little goblin runs back to a small pile. You hear the clinking of coins once again, and she pops it up onto the counter and takes a second and pops it into her hand and weighs it once again.
Well, looks like you got a little tip from Morgan. There's your $350.
I take the $350.
Okay. As you go through it later, you'll find that there's 352 gold in that bag.
Aww, okay. That's cute. Okay. I'll take it, and I know that I just want to go buy a chain shirt with it from the Orcish Wares.
Okay.
So if I can just, like, do that, I'm gonna do it.
Okay. Yeah, we can super speed that.
Sweet.
But before, I'm gonna go buy the hat as well. I do have one question for them though when I go buy the hat. So I want to quickly chat. But so with the money from the disc and everything, I'm actually only short 330 gold, which is, if everyone is so pitching in, that's a 110 from each of you that I will pay back as soon as I can.
I begin cutting it out.
Okay. So you guys head back over to Orcish Wares.
Yeah.
Okay. And Rex heading over to the general wares side. It is very, very quick and very easy to purchase a chain shirt, which I think I have that actually right here. Armor.
Like this. That one!
Yeah, so chain shirt, you want AC 13 plus dex up to a max of 2?
Yes, please.
Okay, so that's 50 gold.
Okay. Toss it over.
Okay, they take it, pass you the new chain shirt.
Hello. I have recently been graced by the generosity of some friends, and I have enough money to buy that hat from you today.
I speak in Ludy's head. Barter, baby, barter.
Well, I'm actually short about 50 gold. Would you take the hat? Would you sell the hat for 700?
Give me a persuasion check.
$22.
Okay. She looks you up and down. Sell it to you for 715. About as low as I'll go.
You've got a deal. I've just got one question about the hat. I'm absolutely willing to buy it, as is. I'm just wondering if it comes in any other more discreet varieties. If you have more than one, like one that's perhaps a little hair clipped or something subtler.
We can change the color.
It's black.
And sort of popping the hat of disguise self on the counter. You see her sort of look underneath the counter and pull up a can of paint and just pop it on the counter. You can just pour this on, change color.
Okay, 2 questions. 1, do you have invisible paint? And 2, do you have opalescent paint? No? Black is fine then. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Well, and you give the 715 over?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and you get a hat of disguise, which I will, since we're in quarantine and I can't give you the magical item little slip, if you want to write this down somewhere where you'll see it, the hat, it has, starts off with 3 charges. It regenerates 1d3 charges daily. So for that, you'd roll a d6, and then 1 to 2 is 1, 2 to 3 is 2, 3, or 1 to 2 is 1, 3 to 4, and so on and so forth. You can expend one of the charges as an action to cast Disguise Self on yourself.
Okay, but I must be wearing the hat.
Must be wearing the hat, but you can use Disguise Self to make the hat, be something else.
Oh, really? I thought I had to look like I was wearing the hat! Oh,
No.
God!
But as is the way with Disguise Self, if someone, reaches to tussle your hair, they'll touch the hat.
Absolutely. And I must, and the disguise self isn't anything I can imagine. It's got to be someone I can see, right?
It can be anything you can imagine. Disguise self, you just look whatever the heck you want to look like, but it doesn't hold up whatsoever to any sort of physical investigation.
Oh my God. Okay, can I, just one other question, can I store charges? If say I don't use one for a day and I roll and I get a 6, do I have 6 charges for the next day, or is it 3 charges?
It holds a maximum of 3 charges.
Amazing. Wow. I put it on and I imagine a cat. Can I be a cat?
You imagine a cat and you see Ludy's face begin to take on these sort of feline features. And as the sort of magic of the hat goes across his body, you see standing in front of you a tabby-colored tabaxi dressed in Ludy's clothes.
Can I change my clothes with the disguise self if I want to?
Yeah.
Okay. I wear a traditional tabaxi garb, whatever that may be, naked.
Okay. So it's more sort of like these flowing silks. More they spend more of their time in sort of warmer and more desert climates. So it's more sort of like flowing robe like clothes.
Okay, and the hat becomes a little daisy in my ear.
Okay. All right, and with our friend Ludi the Tabaxi, you all are standing in the main area of Orcish Wares. That is where we're going to end the session for tonight. After a little bit of purchasing, a little bit of money getting, and with a possible future little endeavor on the horizon with Mr. Vegelbach.
Wow.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Dungeons and Drama Majors. We really appreciate all the support from you guys, the very, very wonderful community. If you haven't already and you enjoyed the stream and you want to see more of this crazy shenanigans that we do, first hit that sweet subscribe button on our Twitch channel here. Or if you're checking us out on YouTube or if you're here on Twitch, head over to our YouTube channel at Dungeons and Drama Majors. All sort of separate words, Dungeons and Drama Majors, and give us a like, give us a subscribe, check out some other videos. We have 28 other sessions that we've recorded, which are all equally as amazing, and not all on Zoom, which is also awesome. We're all in the same room. It's fantastic. So give you guys some things to watch while you're stuck inside with this crazy world that we're in right now.
Anybody have any quotes?
Yes, any quotes to finish off the name? Was there anything pulled that
I took one, and
I didn't have any for tonight.
There were so many funny things. I don't know why this is the thing I wrote down, but instead of where a normal person would say, "Can I buy that? How much is it?" Abby said, "If someone were to take that off your hands permanently in a legitimate transaction." And then just paused and waited for her to fill in the blanks.
I totally thought you were going in the direction of like, if I stole this from you, how angry would you be?
Oh, I just remember something that just thought was so funny. Kale couldn't help himself but say pigeon vision almost every time. He was talking about referring to the bird. It was hilarious saying.
My favorite thing imagining was that this was just more of a moment, was that once Abby had spent the 10 minutes to cast Beast Sense, Speak with Animals had worn off. So you couldn't speak with it anymore. So there's no way of communicating after that moment.
That's funny. Yeah. Okay.
All right. And with that, have a wonderful rest of your night, you guys. And we'll catch you next Sunday.
See you Sunday.
For some fun D&D.